Alan, take us in.
Hello. Previously on Dark Heresy.
Good.
Annie met a few friends from the carnival, including Elspeth, the sump dog seller, old Wiley McCann, and Horace, the birdman. Wiley was given a large stack of payment. I'm going to start that sentence again. This is going well already. Wiley was giving a large stack of parchment to Marique, the young girl who lived in the carnival, and also took payment from some mercenaries that were laying low after operating in the wastes for some time. Wiley told Canny that he had indeed sold him to Mesmeron for over 100,000 thrones, and that Canny had made him many more times that over the years, and he hadn't really wanted to sell him, but a deal's a deal. And also not to worry when Canny expressed concern about the location and security of this money, as Wiley said it was in a very safe place. Canny also met with Horace the birdman, who was sad that his mate had disappeared. Mate. Oh no, that was someone else. He offered Canny a brown egg if he could find her. Side quest. Siegfried headed to Francia's room. Yeah, that's literally what's going to happen. One of them's going to have to lay an egg. Siegfried headed to Francia's room.
Totally down for a bit of brown egg, I'm telling you.
I did offer you the choice of white or brown. Siegfried headed to Francia's room and studied the paintings on the mezzanine balcony along the way, seeing the family and ancestors of what he believed to be Inquisitor Mesmeron and the handsome, dark-skinned man, whoever he was. He also noted that a picture he'd seen a few months earlier was quite obviously Mesmeron as a child, and that it appeared she had a twin sister. He then experienced a strange bending of reality in which he heard two young girls arguing, one of them having their voice taking on a terrifying tone as they argued over something. "No, he's mine, you can't have him, mother gave him to me," and then some horrible sounds like tearing flesh. When reality came back into focus, the painting of the two girls showed one twisted, hunched over, and the other standing normally but with a demonic face and bloody claws where hands should be, and then the painting suddenly reverted back to normal. Meanwhile, Gaius in the infirmary watched as the strange chalice-shaped mark on Francia's shoulder vanished, and Pench was unable to find anything wrong with her besides some minor damage to her vocal cords. Otto arrived and gave Gaius a file on Rudolf Gustav and the Wendell lock. Canny, meanwhile, back in the carnival, took a couple of grave beetles and left them inside the larder with the special mustard. Siegfried retrieved the book Francia had asked for, and also the small bag, which appeared to hold some small carved bone dice. He noticed while he was in her room that she shared a similar taste in literature to his mother, and then witnessed something strange on his return to the infirmary. A young girl stuck on a loop, asking for her mother, and seemingly incapable of responding to him. He then also witnessed a flashback to his childhood. This call of "mother, mother" seemed to bring back some repressed memory from Siegfried, something he had long forgotten, witnessing his father and two men standing over a twitching, dying corpse, while something horrible slithered towards it. The young Siegfried von Morten became splattered in blood from the dying cough of the corpse. The first, but not the last time Lord von Morten would be covered in blood. The Acolytes then met in the pool room and read the files on Gustav and the Wendell lock before heading to the reckless endeavour and attending the dinner party with Lady Pagni and Inquisitor Antonia Mesmeron. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to give you a rundown of everything that, like a summary of everything that was mentioned in the dinner, because obviously we're still dealing with that. Okay.
Oh yes,
so
she likes it. She likes me, doesn't she?
She does.
She likes a bit of Gaius.
So these may or may not be in order of how they happened. I don't really know what I did here, but anyway. So Siegfried noticed that Lady Mesmeron was wearing more makeup than usual, although she's usually made up very pale. She seemed paler than usual. Gladstock didn't have his usual strange mannerisms. Siegfried and Gaius both noticed the bulge in his pocket, suggesting he had the orb on him. You dirty, dirty-minded pervert. Gaius noticed that as the two nobles, Lady Pagni and Mesmeron, greeted each other, that Lady Pagni seemed to have some sort of augmetic hidden in her hair that you hadn't noticed before. Gaius also noticed that Lady Pagni appeared to be baiting the Inquisitor by referring to intersector trade being much more dangerous than she expected, and repeatedly commented on the number of wounded that Lady Arcturus seemed to be sending her. Of course, she refers to Mesmeron as Lady Arcturus. Siegfried made a comment in regards to intersector trade being dangerous indeed, but how Antonia's operations did okay for themselves, which caused Lady Pagni to smile mischievously. Twice, Lady Pagni referred to Mesmeron as a true servant of the God Emperor, and Gaius noticed the first time she did this that she grinned while speaking. Gaius got the impression this was a grin of mischief rather than anything sinister. Mesmeron at one point made the sign of the Aquila early in the dinner, and Lady Pagni returned the gesture. Gaius picked up the ease and immediacy which Lady Pagni displayed this gesture. It was not forced or faked. It looked like the sort of gesture performed by someone who has, like most people in the Imperium, been indoctrinated from a young age into doing this action, and it felt sincere to Gaius. When Mesmeron introduced Siegfried, she referred to him as being a trade envoy who handled more difficult trade negotiations. Lady Pagni had seemed intrigued by Siegfried's hexalid claw ornamentation. She too wore a similar style thing, a pelt of some sort of animal. Von Morton explained he had taken the trophy on Iacanthos, to which Lady Pagni had asked if that was where he had hailed from. Siegfried said no, he was from Granithor, and Lady Pagni said she was relieved that Siegfried did not hail from a world that had recently suffered such loss. Siegfried covered this well, claiming that tragedies on Iacanthos were regrettable for all involved. But what had happened on Iacanthos when Lord Von Morton left that world? Aside from a few poorly concealed murders and the small issue of Seth the Voice wanting him dead, what great loss had occurred on that benighted world since he has departed? Lady Pagni said she had heard there had been a meteor strike that had wiped out all life on the planet and that there were no survivors. She also knew a little of Granithor, claiming that many of her ancestors and more recent family were indeed interred on a family tomb on Siegfried's homeworld, which would have come as no surprise to Siegfried. As a daughter of House Eldon, she would have access and funds to enable such elaborate burial methods. She claimed to have never been to Granithor herself, but wished to go soon, explaining that her husband, Delmont, had recently perished in the war on Tranche and been interred on Granithor. Mesmeron seemed uncomfortable when Lady Pagni asked how a dancer such as Seraph would lose a leg. When discussing Seraph, Mesmeron told Lady Pagni that Seraph has a tendency to surprise. Lady Pagni agreed, saying she recalled an evening where someone called Baron Tulor had insulted Mesmeron, and Seraph had taken it most personally. It seemed the insult aimed at Mesmeron was something to do with her aging backwards and having pigmentation alteration treatments. Siegfried recognized the name of the starter, Rashor soup. His immediate thought was that he thought he had heard the name of the soup many times, as it was, as Gladstock had said, a popular dish of the nobility on Scintilla. He also had a thought that it was his favourite. But when would he have ever dined in high society on Scintilla? You have eaten Rashor soup before, haven't you, Siegfried? Ooh. Lady Pagni often spoke to Mesmeron, referring to sometimes as Antonia or sometimes Lady Arcturus. A number of times, she made eye contact with Gaius while speaking to the Inquisitor.
She loves me.
Lady Pagni seemed genuinely saddened by the loss of her husband, Delmont, but seemed less sad when she referred to someone called Cecil, who she called a bastard, stating she was glad he was dead. Gaius picked up something of a lie or a withholding of the truth in this statement. Perhaps she was just trying to be tough. Perhaps she wasn't completely happy at the death of Cecil, whoever he was. When Lady Mesmeron told Pagni she could no longer continue with idle chit-chat and must discuss Lord Eldon's heresy, the Inquisitor smiled, and the slightly lopsided smile was very reminiscent of the young girl who had gone a bit demonic in the painting that you had seen, Siegfried. Lady Pagni also has said that after the truth of the shattered foundry being turned into a combat servitor production facility had been revealed, the idea that her father had a secret munitorum or mechanicum contract had popped into her head, and this, which she claimed, was the only reason she hadn't gone straight to the authorities. Venetta and Siegfried both detected something of a lie in this. There was obviously something she wasn't saying. Lady Pagni said she was no longer 53rd in line, but now 51st, after her eldest brother had died on Tranche alongside Delmont, and another had been found stabbed to death in a gambling den on Scintilla a couple of months earlier. Lady Pagni said she had no intention of using the evidence of her father's heresy to further her own position, claiming that would make her as bad as her father. Mesmeron suggested that Lady Pagni could use this information to open doors.
Did Siegfried stab the guy to get death in Scintilla?
You've no idea who he was. This
Just
person.
wondering. Yeah,
You don't know who it was.
No.
It's something that did occur in one of the games, but who was it? Yeah, who knows? Lady Mesmeron suggested that Lady Pagni could use the knowledge of her father's heresy to open doors in certain circles, but perhaps close other doors. And that a history of heresy in the family is a difficult stigmata to throw off. Gaius noticed a look pass across Lady Pagni's face, as though the thought of this triggered some inner turmoil within her. It seems she was well aware of what could happen to noble families tainted with the idea of heresy within their family. While Siegfried got the impression that when Mesmeron said this about familial stigmata, she was perhaps speaking from experience. Lady Pagni seemed genuinely upset, almost outraged, when Mesmeron suggested that keeping the knowledge secret would open these certain darker doors she referred to. When Gladstock brought some wine, Siegfried recognised the fine bottles of wine as being those from Zach Solfane's warehouse, the labels identifying them as Cataline Malmsey. Venetta accessed her database, which informed her that this bottle was incredibly rare and could fetch prices in excess of 10,000 thrones each, and then you drank them. Lady Pagni's mood changed from one of being offended to her usual jovial self after drinking the wine. She explained that she was conflicted about what to do about her father, not knowing who to take the information to in regards to his heresy. Siegfried believed this inner conflict did appear genuine. It did seem that she genuinely didn't know what the right thing to do was. He believed she was not merely pondering what to do out loud, but perhaps asking for advice. Pagni went on to say her father had offered her a rise through the ranks if she performed some service for him, but this idea sat poorly with her. Mesmeron suggested that Lady Pagni could use a failsafe, having someone else aware of her father's heresy, with instruction to reveal the truth should something happen to Lady Pagni, and to make her father aware of this in order to stay his hand from silencing his daughter. Lady Pagni admitted she had already thought of this, but she did not know who she could trust to place such a burden upon. Mesmeron, predictably, offered to act in such a way, and Lady Pagni said she did not wish to place Mesmeron in danger. Mesmeron told her she could look after herself, and did, after all, already have copies of the evidence from when you took it from the Shattered Foundry. Siegfried added that this could look very good or very bad for Lady Pagni, since they had gone to the Shattered Foundry at her request. Mesmeron suggested that Lady Pagni dithering over what to do gave her father time to act against her, and also if the authorities discovered she was withholding evidence on her father, she herself could be declared heretic. This seemed to anger Lady Pagni. The suggestion she could be declared heretic, and she claimed if she were to use the evidence to usurp her father, she would use her power to benefit the people of Decilium. She became quite passionate about this idea, and Gaius detected a hint of the zealot within these words, and it seemed quite genuine to him. Then Venetta faked the call, luring Lady Pagni away to her shuttle, and as she went, it appeared that Mesmeron tried to use one of her powers on Lady Pagni, and she said something along the lines of, "That's interesting. Lady Pagni appears to be psi-shielded." So let's put the map on the right bit. There, back in the dining place, the dining hall.
Oh,
So, at the minute, Lady Pagni is gone. Where's my notes?
I love the way like Lady Mesmeron looks like a Spanish maracas dancer.
Yeah, that's what she is today. That is the wrong file.
With head-sized boobs.
Absolutely massive head-sized boobs. There we go.
I like the way
Right.
the guy is just looking up at the sky all the time.
So, Lady Pagni has left. Kale Marotti has led her back to the shuttle bay. So there's currently the three of you. Mesmeron and Gladstock is there as well. And Mesmeron, the last thing Mesmeron said was, "Well, that was interesting. Lady Pagni appears to be size-shielded. I cannot see into her mind, and I saw no obvious warding runes or clothing on her jewelry. Strange. So, Acolytes, your thoughts, opinions on Lady Pagni?"
Maybe she has a... She seems
Maybe
insane. Go on.
Maybe she's a size 2.
I highly doubt that. I have spent a great deal of time in Lady Pagni's company in the past, and if that were the case, I would have noticed before.
But
I
she could
think
be a really good.
It very much sounds like she's conflicted whether to do the right thing or take power.
My thoughts too, Gaius. It does seem she is unclear how to proceed.
Do we reveal ourselves, my lady, or do we? Can we? Do you think we can trust?
She says, "Well, she's clearly ambitious, but that doesn't make her a heretic, nor does it make her untrustworthy. So, we need to decide if we trust her. The way I see it, we have a number of options. 1, convince Lady Pagni to turn over the intel on her father to someone in a position of authority. This would serve her well politically and socially, at least at face value. However, it may make her a target for revenge from her father or his allies. We know he has at least one co-conspirator, this Cyric Scale gentleman who helped him create the abominable intelligence. Option 2, allow Lady Pagni to use the evidence to leverage her father and climb the order of succession within her bloodline. This would afford her greater power and resources within her own family. On the flip side, this may make Lady Pagni a target for her father, who would wish to have her silenced rather than grant such an ambitious child a foot on the ladder. We could, of course, assist with such an endeavour. This would, however, place us in harm's way too. Option 3, we deal with Lord Eldon ourselves. We are, after all, agents of the Holy Inquisition, sworn to destroy all enemies of the Emperor, be they within, without, or from beyond. This would remove the threat to Lady Pagni immediately, but not gain her anything save for being one step closer to the tip of her family. And the only thing it would gain us is a sense of a duty well done. Of course, there's also the possibility that you yourselves have an alternate idea.
We bring her into our trust. We have the information on the fact that if she tries to betray us, we can use that information gained from the Shattered Foundry. And the fact that she withheld that has been withholding that information as a means of keeping her in our pocket, because she would not want to be associated with a heretic, because that could destroy her reputation as well.
Yes, also a good idea, Siegfried. So basically, if you guys now want to discuss, although Mesmeron's in charge, basically what's going to happen here is you guys decide what you want to do with Lady Pagni and the information she has on her father, and that's what will happen. Mesmeron will basically agree with you.
Okay.
Okay. I say I don't know. I think we take her into our confidence. We encourage her to go to the authorities with this information to her father to improve her standing therefore improving her resources and making her a more useful ally for ourselves. But obviously, in the background, we have the evidence we need to bring her down if she turns against us. If she proves faithful to the cause. What do you think?
I think it wouldn't take much to push her either one way or the other. I do think, if we stress the fact that we're all God's Emperor-serving people here, and we do not want to do anything to arouse suspicion of, any powers that be, it might be better to come clean and get us to work for her that way. The honest truth. But, Mesmeron does play the side of walking the line between good and dark, so...
I don't know what you mean.
Who does? Toes the line well. Vanetta, what do you think?
She is the line.
Looking in a character, out character. Out character, I think best thing to do is to get her to blackmail her father and get some more power that way.
Yeah.
And then she'd probably be at risk, but then deal with the consequences thereof. In character, no, she's not to be trusted. Trust no one. Trust not even yourself.
I can't really.
Vanetta's got nothing useful in character. Really.
I don't.
To die in vain and to...
Well,
Think he
Guy's
lives as an
character would
abomination.
not be up for blackmailing anybody. And Gaius would go straight, let's go to the authorities and get him punished properly. That's what Gaius would do. That's what I am.
Mhm.
Blackmail is not an option for Gaius. It's a man what gives that away.
What we could do is get him to get her to blackmail. Get her. I agree with Gaius. Heretics should be punished, and I'm always up for that. We could use, but first we must get him to improve her family first, and then he has done that and improved the line of success close to the top. Then all her rival, and then
I was struggling to hear you, Johnny.
the most powerful member of her house.
I'm struggling to hear you, mate.
It's
only getting bits of it. You're breaking up a bit there, mate. I don't know if is your internet playing up again.
Oh no. So yeah, I know what it is, mate. It's just
It sounds like connection. It looks like connection speed.
Yeah. Second. I'm just gonna turn the call off and come back into it.
Yeah.
All right, buddy. So when we're going to start doing proper role plays?
I'll start whenever. I'm happy to do it.
Start doing what?
Start doing proper role plays, as in when we're not doing it over fucking Skype or Discord or whatever. Sit around a table and roll some dice.
Yes.
I think my position's all right.
Hear me? Can you hear me clearly? All right now.
I don't know, Johnny. We'll have to give it some time to see.
Hello.
Hello.
Okay.
It's still freezing.
It's not looking good, mate. Not
Hello.
looking good, buddy. Hello.
Are you on the Wi-Fi? Or are you actually on
Can you hear me?
your phone? Yeah, we can, but you're freezing up. Are you on Wi-Fi?
I'm just on mobile, mate. Mobile, mate.
Try turning your
hang on,
video
I'll
off.
check.
Try.
Oh shit! I am on the Wi. I am.
Yeah.
No, I am. I'm on the Wi-Fi. That's why it's being shit. Right, let's try it now. Okay.
No,
Hello, is that
working.
better? Yeah, because I had it on the Wi-Fi.
Yeah,
So,
there we go.
yeah. There we go. The Wi-Fi is shot.
Perfect.
And there's about 50 people on it. Okay, so basically, what I was saying, we can use Lady Pagni. We can get her to blackmail her father. We can get her to blackmail her father, prove her standing, then we can bump him off because he's obviously a heretic, turn him in ourselves, and then once she's obviously raised the ladder, and then if she has any rivals, we can eliminate them too, maybe by organising some sort of gathering, celebratory dinner, perhaps, that we can invite all her rivals to, and then we can just eliminate them. How does that sound?
Sounds good. Can I add to that?
Yeah.
So, okay, if we get him to blackmail father, would it be better that we come clean to Lady Pagni that we are actually the Inquisition?
Oh, we do.
So,
That's what we do.
yeah. So we can actually tell her to go and do this, knowing that she feels a bit more safe about knowing what to do, and also installing the fact that she doesn't want to do anything heretical herself.
Yeah. Exactly.
So she's acting as an agent almost.
Yeah. She'll enjoy that. Like the light game. So, okay, this will be taking the stakes up a notch. I think she'll.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go opt for that option.
Yeah.
Because then it's honest, and that's a thing what guys would do.
Yeah,
best way.
Siegfried will get to kill people, so he's happy with that. So.
Okay, so is that what you want to do? You want to basically use the evidence to leverage Lady Pagni up to the top?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And then bump off her rival.
And then bump off anyone that gets in your way.
And if she does backstab us, we'll just send Siegfried around anyway. So.
Yeah, exactly. And so you are, and that was something else I was going to ask you as well. Mesmeron was going to say there is one final matter to discuss. Do we reveal our true nature to Lady Pagni? Do we tell her she conspires with agents of the Ordo Malleus?
I think she does because it will keep her on the straight and narrow. We've warned her and she's right on the edge. This might be the right push to know that friends are watching in high places.
Yeah. What can be more powerful than knowing there is no higher authority? So you've got the Inquisition on her side. Even if we are like renegade, like militia, Inquisition agents, essentially, according to the Lord Inquisitor, yeah. But she doesn't know that. So as soon as you bring out those fucking Inquisition icons, that's basically an insurance policy for her because she knows. But so long as obviously she mustn't reveal. I
think we need her on payroll. Yeah, we need her on payroll.
We definitely need her on a payroll.
The producing of the Inquisitorial Rosette is a surefire way to get the weak to obey and for the heretic to shit themselves.
Yeah.
So
that's what I think we'll go with.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what I say. Is everybody else? I don't want to just take the lead on this because I'm not that sort of person. But yes, I think that's good. Good group plan.
Yes.
To reveal our true nature is to invite betrayal. He's not to be trusted, I tell you. Mark my words.
I like nothing more than punishers that would choose to betray the God Emperor, and would anyone really dare to betray us? What do you think?
Heretic dares all.
Well, we were created to destroy heresy. Bring the heresy. That's what I say, and we'll either sweep it under the carpet. Just kidding, Lady Mesmeron. Or we'll.
Mesmeron says, "We've." What was I going to reply to there? My brain's gone fucking misfired.
Another drink, Lady Mesmeron.
Yes. She may seem like she perhaps is not trustworthy, Vanetta. However, I have known her some years, and I've never got that impression from her before. It's obvious, however, she is keeping something secret. But then again, who in her position would not be?
Perhaps she's already a member of the Inquisition. We hadn't thought of that.
Make a charm test for me, please.
Well.
You said it.
My charm is terrible.
Use charming. It's a sniper.
Oh, you will get a plus 15 for that. Actually, because your relationship with Mesmeron.
What? What? It's okay. It's amazing.
Most of you are okay with Mesmeron, actually.
Yeah, she'll probably think that's a load of bollocks. Hey, success for 2 degrees.
Mesmeron laughs and says, "Well, that would be embarrassing, wouldn't it, Lord von Morton?"
Indeed it was.
And in the background, Gladstock says, "What if she's an agent of Gelt's?" And Mesmeron's smile drops, and she says, "I hadn't thought of that, Simeon."
Well,
One step close. Then we're one step closer to tracking him down.
Yes. Okay, so before we proceed, is there anything else you want to discuss amongst yourselves or with Mesmeron before Lady Pagni returns?
No, actually, no. Quite happy with that.
Okay.
Can we say
we can speculate as much as we want, but it's never
I think
correct.
she can join us, but only on the condition I get the next sniper rifle.
You've already got a sniper rifle.
I know, but I want a better.
You'll struggle to get an Exeter sniper rifle.
I know.
All right.
Yeah.
Anything, Al? Was there anything else you wanted to bring up, Al?
No, I'm good, thank you, mate.
Okay. So after about 20 minutes or so of chatting and sort of making some preliminary plans with Mesmeron, Lady Pagni re-enters the dining room and she says, "Forgive me, my friends, some trivial matter concerning a..." "That's quite all right, Leonandra," interrupts Mesmeron. "In your absence, I've been discussing with my associates your predicament, and after some consideration, we would like to assist you in ways beyond merely becoming your failsafe." And there's a pause, during which you see Gladstock is watching Lady Pagni intently. Mesmeron sits motionless, a small, lopsided smile creeps onto her face. Lady Pagni locks eyes with the Inquisitor, and then glances at each of you for a moment. A frown crosses her face. And then she shakes her head. Says, "Oh, forgive me. Is everything all right? Is something..." She looks a bit confused and distracted. And you see Lady Mesmeron's smile has widened. She says, "Lady Pagni, I wonder about your friend, this tech priest, this Magos Grus. My people tell me you and him share some sort of connection, as though you can speak to one another without words. Is this true?" Lady Pagni frowns and says, "Well, yes. Magos Grus has been with me for many years. His loyalty is undoubtedly still within the Mechanicus, but he has served me loyally and without question. We developed a hidden encrypted Vox tech together so that we can communicate wordlessly. It helps in certain situations." Mesmeron nods, says, "And can you keep things from him, or does he hear your every thought?" I would like you all to make an awareness test, please. Gaius, you still get +10 from your little boon from last time.
Oh,
Yeah.
a boon. What was that?
Oh, I'm going to use a fate point to reroll that. Because that's no, I won't bother. I won't bother. Still laughing at my joke about Dirk being potentially a member of the.
Yeah, too busy laughing to notice anything.
Yeah.
I fail. Oh, does my eye give me anything? Like an extra +10?
Yes, it would, but it'd still be a fail, wouldn't it?
Yeah, 0.4 degrees of failing then.
Okay.
That's given and they take it away.
Lady Pagni says, "Magos Grus hears only that which I actively wish him to hear. Why?" Make another awareness test. Same modifiers.
Aha!
Success.
Vanetta and Siegfried, you notice briefly as she says this that Magos Grus only hears that which she wants him to hear. You briefly notice Mesmeron glance at Gladstock, and you see a small, almost imperceptible nod from Gladstock. And Mesmeron continues, says, "Lady Pagni, I trust you. I trust you on a personal level and a professional one, and it is for this reason, and because I believe we can help one another, that I reveal to you a truth that I have kept from you for many years since we first met. Lady Pagni looks confused and glances around at the rest of you. Antonia, what are you talking about?
She's really a man.
My name, begins the
Fancy.
Inquisitor, is not Lady Antonia Actoros, free trader. It is Inquisitor Antonia Mesmeron of the Ordo Malleus. Mesmeron stands, and from the neckline of her gown she pulls a thick chain, hanging from which is the symbol of her authority, the stylized eye inset with a skull, the symbol of the Inquisition. And she says, and by the power I wield as a servant of the Holy God, Emperor's left hand, I make unto you a promise. Work with me, provide me and my people all I need and all I ask for you. Materials, manpower, information, and I will in return see to it that you one day rise to your rightful position as head of House Elden, and we will remove the cancerous rot from within your family and the spires of Hive Decilium, including the apex, and no one, not your father or your petty squabbling siblings, will stand in your way. There's a moment of silence. Lady Pagni sits there, her jaw hanging open in shock, her eyes wild and staring at Mesmeron. And then she says, I knew it! I mean, I didn't, but I knew you weren't just some wandering off-world trader. Little things you said and how you behaved over the years. That business with the Colonel, the Rakith Spire incident, and your man Gaius losing the arm, and then the Foundry and Seraph's leg. Mesmeron interrupts and says, oh, really? Was I that obvious? Oh, well, yes, no, Antonia, Inquisitor, sort of. I mean, I figured you were more than you were letting on, but I thought you were maybe one of those rogue traders or a smuggler or something. Not that I would have associated with you, of course, if I thought you were the latter. And yet you did, Lady Pagni. Well, yes, but if I had been certain you were a smuggler, of course, I would have reported you. Relax, Lady Pagni. Such trifles are utterly beneath my remit, most of the time. I have watched you for a long time, Leonandra, and although unwittingly, you have served the Inquisition in more ways than one in the past. I ask you to take a more proactive role in such things from now on, and we will ensure that you are rewarded for your efforts and protected. Lady Pagni stands, adjusts her dress, smooths down her hair, and strides around the table, and stands before the Inquisitor with a proud look on her face, and she says, Inquisitor, and then she kneels. It would be my honor to serve you and your institution. She reaches out towards Mesmeron's outstretched hand and gently presses her lips to the back.
A vortex grenade.
And as Lady Pagni, 51st in line to the seat of House Elden, one of the 7 great ruling houses of Decilium, kisses Mesmeron's hand and pledges her fealty, Mesmeron smiles that lopsided smile. Everyone make an awareness test.
Demon face smile.
Failure.
Yay! I see something.
How many degrees? 2 degrees success.
Yeah.
Gaius, as you see Mesmeron smile, for the briefest of moments you see a flicker of darkness, as though Mesmeron's eyes momentarily become black pits.
Oh, shit.
You also think, just for a moment, you're pretty sure her skin darkened as well, taking on an almost coffee-coloured tone, just for a fraction of a second. Mesmeron looks down at the kneeling form of Lady Pagni and says, Lady Leonandra Pagni, your oath is accepted. Lady Pagni reaches into the folds of her gown and produces a glittering gold and gem-encrusted oath cog, similar to that which you've seen worn by almost everyone in Decilium, but this is much fancier. She detaches it from the chain, hands it to the Inquisitor. Mesmeron takes it, holds it before her. Welcome to the Inquisition. Recaf, says Gladstock, as he appears with a new trolley, upon which numerous cups and pots of sugar and milk are arranged. Lady Pagni stands and says, I think perhaps I need something stronger. Of course. We should toast our new alliance, Gladstock, open the other bottle of Kathleen Malmsey, and fetch the good Amasek. Of course, Inquisitor, says Gladstock. And as Gladstock leaves, Lady Pagni speaks up once more and says, there's just one thing, Antonia. I mean, Inquisitor, Mesmeron, was it? If I'm being honest, I do much prefer Arcturus. It suits you much better. Mesmeron's eyes take on a slightly faraway look for a moment, and she says, yes, I thought the same once. Forgive me. There was one other thing you wanted to ask me, Lady Pagni? Lady Pagni says, well, it's just, I'm not quite sure I understand my role in this. How exactly am I supposed to achieve this meteoric rise to the apex of which you speak? Mesmeron says, in my experience, Leonandra, the apple rarely falls far from the tree. Present company accepted, of course. I suggest we look into your siblings, as well as your father. It wouldn't surprise me to learn some of them are aware of your father's crimes, or even guilty of their own. We discredit them, ruin their reputation, systematically deconstruct your entire family bloodline, until only you remain in a position of credibility. And if we are unable to find any dirt on some of them, well, and she glances at Siegfried, there are always other ways of removing obstacles.
And I'm just gonna smile. We have called that eye.
Mesmeron says, we work together. We dig deeper into your father's business. From what I know, criminals and heretics tend to have more than one hobby. With our help, Lady Pagni, you will become one of the most powerful women on the planet, and then you can do as you said you would. You can bring an end to the endemic corruption of Desilium, with our help, of course. Lady Pagni says, it sounds rather dangerous. Indeed, Leonandra, and the more people who know the truth of what we are up to, the more dangerous it gets. Tell no one of what we have discussed. While I do not doubt the loyalty of your head of security, he cannot actively defend against a threat if he is not made aware of it. Lord von Morton will join your entourage as a confidant and aid, a constant companion, someone who is just at home in a royal court, and as they are hunting down and removing threats to you and your plan. You will not contact me on matters other than for keeping up the appearance of social acquaintances. Anything pertaining to this mission will be communicated through Lord von Morton. Is that understood?
I'm just going to
yes.
I'm just going to turn to him and be like, I am a most skillful negotiator.
Lady Mesmeron turns to you, Siegfried, and says, Siegfried, tread softly, carefully, take your time. Should you need anything from us, Mr. Gladstock will provide. You'll join Lady Pagni at her estate in a few days. We have some other business to attend first.
As Von Morton says, I'm the most skillful negotiator, Geiss is just going to glare at Von Morton and do this and go, aye. That he is.
Yeah, I'm gonna be like, looking good, guys, looking good.
Geiss crushes his glass. No, it doesn't. Don't want to make a strength test look stupid.
That's a kind of representative the Emperor should have.
Geiss is to neck his drink.
Mesmeron then turns to the three of you and says, Acolytes, return to the mansion. Lady Pagni and I have a few things to discuss.
Okay. Thank you very much,
Okay.
Inquisitor Mesmeron and Lady Pagni. It was a pleasure.
She gives you a bit of a nod and a smile, but it's not quite as friendly as it was before.
Yeah.
It seems like she's perhaps maybe a little bit intimidated now that she knows who you all really are.
Yeah.
Okay, So
So she should be.
Oh, spinning my hand, like
She doesn't know
Barbie.
half. No, she's only scratched the tip of the iceberg. I mean, she doesn't know anything about all the horrific stuff we've done.
Yeah.
We've been diabolical.
So, by the time this is all finished, it's about 11 p.m. Gladstock leads the three of you back through the ship. He takes you to get your equipment that you left behind because you all got changed, obviously. And then he leads you back to the bridge, through the door, and back into the mansion. And we're going to leave that there a second. So it's about 11 p.m. there.
Okay.
Canny, I would like you to make an agility test at -30.
Trying to do gets fat ass for the door.
Yeah, he's stuck somewhere.
No lead. -30, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Nope.
Door was too small.
Dave knocked £10 off me the other day, so
Oh well. Yeah. Looking
Ben,
cool.
Canny, I would also like you to make a weapon skill test at -30.
Me? Oh, God.
No, Canny.
All right.
Okay.
Is he eating too many hot dogs?
no
So-
such thing. No such thing as too many. hot dogs.
Falling out of his
It's
hand.
a hot dog eating contest.
Failed. Couldn't get
missed
the hot dog to
space.
his face.
Ah.
So in the
it's other
meantime,
side. That's cheating.
while you've been on the Reckless Endeavour, Otto, Spring, and Ferinus have returned from their shopping trip. And they have enough food to feed everybody in the mansion, the Inquisitor, all the Acolytes, for 19 days. Spring actually managed to negotiate the price of some of the food down.
Good work.
Otherwise, she would have probably got a bit less. Maybe, but it's high quality food. This, I mean, you can eat for a lot cheaper than what you do in the mansion, but all the food in the mansion is very good.
What I want.
So, what I'd like to do now we've got to that point, we're going to roll back time a little bit. We're going to roll back to when you were all when Canny, Siegfried, and Gaius were in the pool room playing pool and discussing what you were going to do with about Rudolf Gustav. So to do that, I need to find a file that I thought I'd opened. Obviously, I have not. So
Rudolph the Red-Nosed Gustav.
It's gonna be toast soon.
Had a very fiery death.
Oh yeah.
Right. So
I think we should send a message. I mean, just like leave his corpse in some horrendous fashion.
Not doing corpse art again, are you, Siegfried?
Yeah. Just want to propose it or something. Just do something weird with it. You know what I mean?
You've
Send a
done
message.
that a few times, haven't you? A bit of corpse art.
No, I think he's got the right idea. He
Yeah.
speaks sense to old Siegfried. Need to send
Yeah.
a message.
Send yeah. Just
what have I done?
but
Right. So if you
he's a traitor or something.
if you go into the journal on Roll20, in the Intel section, you'll see a file called Otto's Dossier on the Wendell Lock.
Southeast Mid-Hive.
So I'll quickly read it out for you, but it's there. So the first bit is pretty, just for fluff. So situated halfway up the region of the hive, designated the mid-hive, on a plateau jutting from the hive wall, the Wendell Lock is one of many air processing districts whose function is to draw in, purify, and distribute the toxic air of Decilium, pumping it into the vast pipelines that snake through the hive's many layers, where it eventually reaches into the wealthier upper hive tiers and the apex. Those who live below these levels must make do with breathing a mixture of Decilium's toxic atmosphere and what little pure air filters down from the levels above. There are only 2 designated entrances to the Wendell Lock. The first and the largest of these is the main gate on the northeast corner of the district, at the border of the Workers' House Recreation District, which of course you've been to before. While most of the air processing plant workers dwell within the district walls and rarely leave, in recent years a number of workers have begun to be drafted in from neighbouring districts to supply the recently expanded air processing district with manpower due to basically another air processing plant was destroyed in a failed revolt about a decade ago. So this one was expanded. Each day, thousands of mid-hive citizens enter and leave the district via this main gate, and due to the vast number of personnel drafted in, there is a constant stream of foot traffic through the gate. It's manned by a large number of sanctuaries, usually 24 or more, who meticulously check the identification of all who attempt to gain entry. And of course, you've got some fake oath cogs and papers to prove you're supposed to be there already made by Otto and Veneta.
Yeah.
Those without the correct authority or clearance to enter the Wendell Lock are swiftly dealt with, arrested and taken away, often never to be seen again. This is due to the high importance of the district's primary industry being considered a likely target for insurgency, rebellion, and general troublemaking. It appears that only foot traffic is allowed through this gate. A number of small body scanning archways admit entrance to those who have passed the sanctuary's rigorous security checks. Weapons are forbidden in the Wendell Lock. These scanners are there to ensure that none get inside. The sanctuaries are supported by a number of fixed weapon emplacements, mostly heavy stubbers, although there are also a pair of autocannons overlooking the gate to deal with any vehicular threats to the security of the district. The second official entrance is a secondary gate located on the northwestern edge of the area. While this smaller gate has fewer sanctuaries posted, it has a number of automated defences, including heavy combat servitors and automated turrets, which are slave to the officer in charge of the gate security. In short, he can bring a number of heavy weapons to bear on multiple targets with a single thought from the safety of an armoured watchtower overlooking the gate. This secondary gate is generally reserved for emergency service access. Service personnel brought in from outside the district, supply deliveries, and anything else other than the thousands of workers who enter the region on foot every day. Otto goes on to say, while these 2 access points are the only official entrances, they both involve thorough security checks, which may prove problematic to pass through without sufficient identification, which of course he has provided you. Security checks involve checking of oath cogs and cross-referencing against the Wendell Lock's cogitator systems to ensure that all who enter the region are authorised to do so. Vehicles entering through the service entrance must also have the correct paperwork and are meticulously scanned and searched on arrival. It seems that there is a great deal of paranoia regarding the Wendell Lock security. This is likely due to the fact that in the past decade, 3 other air processing districts have been attacked by insurrectionists. The nobility, it seems, are desperate to keep their air toxin-free. After assessing the Wendell Lock and its security measures, I have also found a number of other potential entry points, weak points if you will, alternative access methods for more clandestine activities, or for those who wish to bypass the security forces of the Wendell Lock altogether, but these are not without their own dangers. Entry may be possible from outside the hive via a small shuttle landing pad, although my research shows that a number of las cannon turrets provide protection against any attempted unauthorized landings. Extreme deadly force is authorized for any vehicle not scheduled and not broadcasting the correct security clearance codes. In my research, I was unable to find any reference to authorization codes to provide landing access. This leads me to believe that they may not be stored with any cogitator banks and perhaps communicated by means other than Vox. This landing pad is the primary access and egress for visiting inspectors from the consortium's Productivity and Efficiency Quorum, and also any dignitaries who, for one reason or another, may wish to enter the region. It would be extremely difficult to pass off our team as such individuals, as they tend to use biometric data rather than oath cogs to allow access through the security systems there. Descending from higher tiers of the hive to this landing pad may also be possible, although the Wendell Lock's altitude, the general unstable and perilous nature of the outhive wall would make this perilous. Needless to say, approaching via air would be rather suspect and is sure to attract the attention of the sanctuary bondsman. While scaling the hive wall would be a much stealthier approach, it would involve its own perils. A fall from the outer hive would lead to certain death. The only other potential entry point I can identify is via the air ducts. These vast pipelines extend for hundreds of miles throughout the hive, so gaining entry to them is possible from almost unlimited number of locations. However, details on the internal structure is sketchy at best. The plans and schematics for the pipelines are sealed away behind some rather high security clearance, which is understandable considering their purpose and the potential for wreaking havoc in the upper tiers if the air supply was to be cut off. I've identified vulnerability in the Wenderlock security systems. Agent Calamir has been able to access the cogitators of the district and fake a request for extra ventilation scrubbing crews to be dispatched to the Wenderlock. Using my significant skills in sifting through the bloated bureaucracy of Imperial admin protocols, I have gathered the relevant data to be able to create the required paperwork to identify you as one of those crews. Agent Calamir has also created some incredibly high-quality oath cogs, which she believes should pass scrutiny at the service gate. Getting inside should not be a problem. However, getting weapons, armor, and other useful equipment inside is something I cannot help you with. I feel it is my duty to inform you that there is a possibility that Agent Calamir might be able to deactivate the hardwired auspexes on the gate at the exact moment each of you pass through them, but this may prove something of a challenge. Believe me when I say that our Mechanicum friend will find this difficult, which is in no way a reflection of her ability, but rather the complexity of the task. Should she fail, the consequences would be disastrous for you. It may also be possible for Agent Calamir to remotely access the machinery within certain parts of the air processing plant, the vast pipes that snake out of the region into the main hive. But then again, this would be rather difficult. The pipelines can be sealed, flooded with gas, flesh-dissolving fluids, and combat servitors at a moment's notice. As for the target himself, Rudolf Gustav, due to the high security and paranoia of the Wendel's adept in charge, I have acquired a pict of the man. His designated Hablock location, Hablock 31 Beta, ground floor, Hab 4. I also discovered his assigned workplace. He is a filter cleaning technician based at Air Scrubber Epsilon 3. I have provided a map which has both of these locations marked. Strangely, I was unable to find any reference to his shift pattern, which would have perhaps helped know where to find him at any given time. I apologize for my failure, and I will be sure to seek forgiveness from the God Emperor through blessed self-mutilation when I find the time in my hectic schedule.
I will lend you my whip, Otto.
If there is anything else I can assist you with, information is, after all, my speciality. Please do not hesitate to ask. Assuming, of course, I have returned from the most important of all inquisitorial business, grocery shopping. Perhaps you need a toilet cleaning or your boots shining. Alas, you might have to get someone else to do such a thing if I'm still searching the upper hive for saffron and Brontian caviar. Otto's not happy that he was sent shopping.
No, sounds it.
Need to get some more data.
Okay, so with that information, you can plan how you want to approach the Wenderlock. At this moment, you only have.
That's a lot of options you've just passed us there. I think
It is.
on the first three you just spoke to me. Concentrated on blowing air vaporizing gas from the air duct, climbing the wall outside with my bionic hand.
Basically, the easiest way to get in is going to be through the gates using the forged oath cogs and papers.
Yeah.
But you will struggle to get weapons in there with you.
Yeah.
Then again, you're only
that one answer, isn't he?
You're only going to kill a fucking air scrubber. It's not like you're going up against an army. Well, you might be if you fuck up. The hardest way to get in would probably be via the landing pad in a shuttle.
Yeah.
It would also be very hard to scale the side of the hive, but it'd be much easier if you could do that to get weapons in. The third, the sort of third option would be to go through the air vents, it has the potential to get you in undetected with whatever you want to take, but it also has the potential for some serious nonsense. You could get lost, you could get gassed. who knows what might be in the air ducts? So yeah,
I don't like the sound of the air ducts. Just
Yeah.
the gas aside, you could just get chopped up by a big sucking fan.
Yeah.
You watch too many movies. Can we just take 5 minutes, guys? I just need to go for a slash and get a drink,
course.
and while
Yeah.
I'm gonna
and
grab a
we
drink
can
some.
plan.
I think a full frontal assault's probably what's required. I mean, on the hardest location.
A full frontal assault would probably be a very bad idea.
I know it would. I'm just getting out my system while the guys are.
It says in that file, there's like 24 guards on the gate.
Yeah.
There's also fixed weapon emplacements. All those guards will be in a fortified position. And
Yeah, it's not clear.
there's also many hundred sanctuaries in that district patrolling at all times. So, yeah.
Yeah, no.
You're probably best keeping as low a profile as possible.
Yeah, definitely. Oh no, it's a tricky one. I think we should just try and go in, and we could just strangle a guy. I mean, or something like that. You know, what I mean, it doesn't have to be. I was just thinking I could use my bootlaces or something like that. You know, if I've got some work. Have a bootlace.
I'm sure between a serial killer, a pit fighter with ridiculous strength, and a man with a metal arm, you can find a way of killing a civilian.
Oh, I could even get out my grapple and then choke him to death between the grapple thing on my hand and my arm, couldn't I? You know, I could hold my hand and then use a rope off my grapple to hang him.
I was just thinking, garroting him with a pair of bootlaces.
Yeah, I don't think we need a weapon to kill a dude.
No, we don't.
Not Kenny. Kenny could just literally grab his leg and beat him around the room until he's a mess.
That's what I just said, Hayden. It's like between a serial killer, you with a robot arm, and Canny with the strength of a fucking space marine. You know, I'm sure you can find a creative way of killing a civilian.
I think it'd be more fun not to take a weapon in myself.
Yeah, I think it would.
I think if we don't take a weapon, it'd be quite good fun.
I think it'd be
is there any way of me changing, getting out? I don't know, swapping in, swapping out any weapons in my arm while I haven't got any ammunition for the for my thing?
The melter gun and the grapple that are in your arm as the optional weapon attachments can be removed and replaced with others, but you couldn't just put any old pistol in. You know, it'd have to be something specially built for your arm.
Oh,
I'm going to get onto Vanetta for that though, because melter ammunition is quite hard to come by.
Mm-hmm.
I've got a slight concern. You know, we're supposed to be like a cleanup crew or whatever, or you know, a filter repair crew or something like that. Guys got like really expensive augmenting might show up on the scanner.
I would have to get my eyeball just quickly whipped out, and then they won't notice because my arm's flesh colour, and then I've got an eyeball. I'm human then.
Yeah.
I'll just put a pair of gloves on. Nobody will know I've got a bionic arm because it's best quality and it looks like an arm. It's brown skin.
They've got scanners, haven't they? They'll scan you when you go through.
That's what I'm concerned about. It's you know, like
scan everyone.
For technicians, like it might be a mid-hiver, but they're a bit of a still a pleb. You know, to have a very highly expensive augmentation like that, it's a little might draw a bit of attention from the scanners unless we can get the scanners shut down. So
just to play devil's advocate a minute. Gaius's arm, does look normal, but a scanner would probably pick it up. And it might be a bit unusual for a mid-hive cleanup crew to have not a bionic arm, but such a high-quality bionic arm. But then again, will the sanctuaries recognise a high-quality bionic arm?
Yeah, they probably won't. That's the thing. Yeah,
that's something you should think about as
and
well.
It's not illegal either. It's not illegal to have a bionic arm. So
no,
as long as you don't have any weapons in it.
Take the weapons out. Yeah, take the weapons out of it. And if you come up with well, that's up to you. But if you have a convincing enough story, if someone asks you why, if someone does say that's a very expensive arm, as long as you've got a convincing explanation as to why, you might get away with it.
Yeah, I have.
You say this is a very important.
I reckon we go in through the front fucking door, don't we? We don't need any weapons. I have a weapon.
I will just say,
you fucking weapon.
I'm knobbing the boss's daughter. I think the guys will go, yep.
They'll be like, who is it? That'll work, I think.
I'm not being my boss's daughter, mate. He treated me when I lost my arm.
I suggest we go in no weapons. Take some tools with us. They'll serve as weapons.
Yeah.
It's amazing what you can do with a wrench. Set your mind to it.
There are tools in the mansion as well. Obviously, Venetta's got plenty of tools. So
Plasma cutter or something like that, you know.
So has Les.
That's true. That's true.
Les is a tool.
Yeah, we'll go in there as a maintenance crew. Keep it simple. Walking through the front door. No weapons. We've got our ID. Did you say we needed something? I can't remember if we did this or not, Dave. We needed something in the computers to say that we had permission to go.
Yeah, Venetta, you did that with Venetta.
Yeah, I couldn't remember whether we'd done it or not.
There was basically three things I had you roll for. There was Otto gathering the correct information and creating the paperwork, which he passed the information on to Venetta, who made oath cogs, forged oath cogs for you all, and she also put in a work request in the Wendellock's cogitator. So when you get there, your paperwork will tally up with their records.
Yeah.
And what is our job again in the Wendellock? Our cover job.
You are. It's in that file. What did I say you were? Something like maintenance workers.
Yeah, we've got some clean up to do.
Ventilation system scrubbing crew.
So we're going to need some scrubbing crew equipment.
I'm going to try and get through security as a scrubber with a bionic arm.
You just make out you're in charge. You're just there to oversee.
If I point it out, I could like grab my brush and then spin it on the wall, like show how quick I can scrub the walls of it. Yeah. Well, don't you think it's part of my job, mate? Buffing it up as a go.
Okay.
Go, gadget hand. Go.
Just put a scrubber in your hand, yeah. Put like a. You go, why have you got such elaborate bionic arm? Because I need it all by hand, close at hand. It's like, like your finger opens, like a little brush comes out of it, or a little scrubby. You know what I mean?
I could in my arm.
How you little finger?
Take my melter thing out and have like brushes and tools and just go, here, look, it's for my job.
You could easily, if you take the grapple and the melter out, there'd easily be room for one or two tools or something like that in there.
Yeah.
I always got them. Can I have a spanner launcher instead?
Yeah.
Water
Spanner
cannon.
spinner.
Yeah, water cannon.
Unfortunately, a water cannon might take some time to rig up, and you have only got is it a day or 2 days to get this done?
Yeah.
I can't remember.
No
now.
time like the present. Let's.
We need to bring back some evidence, don't we? So, how are we going to sneak the evidence past?
Not exactly. We need to make sure there's some evidence which this geezer's got on Mr. King. So we just need to make sure I don't see the light of day. Or do we need to actually recover that evidence, do you say?
We'll need to interrogate.
Or do we just need to make sure it's destroyed?
He didn't specify. King Sanchez did not specify what to do with the evidence. He just said that he had some and he wanted it disposing of. So whether you take it back to him or destroy it is up to you.
Yeah.
Just smash it.
We can keep it for leverage.
Actually, it's not a bad idea. You are cunning, aren't you, Siegfried?
You
I do my best.
To me.
We need friends in high places and
Honestly, blackmail. I can't believe it. What happened?
Well,
Days of honest police work. Beat
we like
people
to keep
down in the hive.
We like to keep
on site.
We like to keep feeding sin, guys. We know you get hungry for them. So,
yeah, with each sin, Gaius becomes more powerful.
Exactly.
Right.
See? So see,
So I've got to sin more, have
making-
I?
He literally can become more powerful by sinning because of his rune mace. His rune mace adds if for every 10 corruption points he has, his rune mace adds +1 damage.
Can we make Canny into a
Sin
a
eater.
as well?
Yeah, maybe could. Yeah, I don't know if it's an option for Scum. I can't remember.
I don't know.
I don't think it is actually. I think it's Arbite or Guard.
Guard or Assassin.
Yeah, that's it.
Ooh.
Hmm.
I think he's not that bad. I don't want to go on. I don't want to walk down the same path. I'm trying to go for assassin. Just keep going down that pure assassin route. I want
Fearless,
that.
Fearless.
I want that Vindicator. I want that Vindicator. That sniper rifle, man. That's what I'm after.
Yeah.
I want
Fearless.
to be able to shoot somebody from 10 miles away and then watch them explode.
You want to be able to shoot someone from 10 miles away while they're in a Lehman Russ and they happen to be a demon prince.
Another mission successfully accomplished. They'll be like all these plans. Otto have done all these dossiers and stuff like that. I'll be like, right, we can get in this way. And then there's like this way and that way. And it was like, and I'll just shoot him from 10 miles away. And it's like, yeah, no need for any of that bollocks. Otto, we've taken care of it. On to the next one, yeah?
So then, team, what time are we rendezvousing? Because I need to go see Vanetta and get some stuff taken out of my arm.
Okay.
Okay, so just to clarify, this event, this moment in the pool room happened around 5 or 6 p.m.
Okay.
And then after that, is when you went to the dinner, and you returned from the dinner at about 11 p.m. So obviously you could get the shit whipped out your arm. It wouldn't take Vanetta that long to remove it. You could get it done the next day before you go on the mission. It wouldn't take long at all.
Okay. Do I get Vanetta to make me a weapon, or do I get blooming Fat Les to do it and use his strength bonus to hammer me one?
What weapon do you have? Oh, we weren't taking weapons in. We're going to get scanned.
I'm taking them out. Kenny.
I've got an idea. Gentlemen, I've got an idea. Maybe if Otto and Vanessa get together and invent us some things that look like tools that we can then clip together and make weapons out of. Like a bit like Q section. You know what I mean? That's what I was thinking. You know what I mean? Like
different
a pen
heads for our brush. Aha! It's a
the
brush
poison
blade attachment.
Yeah.
Creeping out those ventilator shafts.
Yeah.
Like a Constructicon from Transformers.
Basically.
What's
I say we just stove his head in with a pipe. I think you're overthinking this, Siegfried.
Yeah, I don't think we need a weapon.
Oh, yeah, pipe.
Pipe's a perfectly good weapon.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Or screwdriver. You can do a lot of damage with a screwdriver.
You can. Yeah, and we only need a small sample of DNA, don't we? We can easily sneak that.
Which DNA do we need?
The guy we're going to kill. We need some sort of evidence to present to the King guy. I mean, that we've actually killed it. Perhaps some brain matter. I mean, if you stove his head in, we could, collect a little bit of this brain matter. Maybe one of his eyes.
No, it's all right. Mr. King will trust me. He'll trust me. If we say we've done the job, he'll trust us.
Another thing to consider is that if you do just stove his head in with a pipe or something like that, it'll look like a random killing in an area of the mid-hive. Whereas if you pick his head apart with a melter gun or something like that, they're going to think there's something more to this. Because who carries a melter or a fucking bolter or something like that?
Yeah. With my grapple hand, wouldn't a good cover thing is that I'm a ventilation technician and I need to get up in high places?
Yeah.
Grapple's legit. Yeah, I think the grapple.
That's not a weapon, is it? Really? I couldn't fire it at someone, but
you could probably pass that off. Yeah.
I think so.
I think you could. Yeah.
Well, I'll take the melter out, but I'm going to keep the grapple in. You never know. I'm a ventilation technician. I might fall.
Yeah, you need that insurance policy. Okay, fall.
Yeah, nobody wants to fall. You don't want to lose a fate point falling, do you? That would be stupid.
Nobody needs that.
Be wasteful. Wasteful.
No,
So it sounds like we've got a plan. We've got a plan we're in the making. So tomorrow we go out, we get the job done.
do it.
Okay.
Do it. But first, we dine.
Yeah.
Yeah. For some reason, my invite must have been lost in the post.
Must be Canny.
I'll bring you back. To
we didn't get to bring anything back. I didn't even pick up a bottle on the way out.
Oh, there's plenty of wine in the mansion.
No, but not like that.
No, they both got drunk, unfortunately.
Oh, damn it.
Okay, so are you all done with your planning?
I think that's the plan.
Okay.
that is the plan.
Technician, no weapons.
So,
Apart from Canny's big fat hands.
so off
Particularly bootlaces.
Gaius, Siegfried, and Venetta then toddle off to the dinner. Canny, from around the time of 6 p.m. until he eventually passes out somewhere, what would Canny be doing? What would you like to do with Canny during the meal?
Yeah, I thought I said this already. I just wanted to do maybe a bit of combat training, do a little bit of
Oh, you did,
practice
didn't
in the
you?
arena. Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
I could really do
that's-
with 1 point in weapon skill. So let's do a little bit of fight some servitors or something.
You've already rolled for that.
Uh-huh.
We've already done that because that's what I had you do the
Yeah,
agility and weapon skill rolls for. I knew they'd come from somewhere.
Mhm.
Okay. So that's Canny done for the rest of the evening, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Got to stay in shape. Got to keep arena ready.
So around when you're done, Canny, are you retiring to your room for the evening?
Am I allowed to see Fat Les?
Yeah, of course you are.
No, Fatlas don't want to see you.
So yeah, so you
He's his own person. You don't get to speak for him, Gaius.
you
You're not his girlfriend.
you head down to the armory, and as usual, the door is shut and locked when you get there.
It's unlocked. All right, I'm just gonna. He'll be in there. Don't worry about it. I'll hammer on the door. Oi, Les! Les, you. No, I'm not going to say that. Les, open the door. Come on.
All right, keep your fucking hair on. I'll be right there. And he comes trotting through. He goes, "Oh, sorry, Kenny, I didn't mean to make a joke about the air thing. Come on in." And he opens the door for you.
How we doing, Les? How we doing? What you
Yeah,
up to?
I'm just finishing the paint job on Gaius's arm. He dropped off a couple of bits of his armor a day or so back. I've been working on that. I ain't forgotten about him. I've nearly finished him. If he says I've forgotten about him, he's a liar.
Let's have a look then.
And he leads you to the back warehouse, the back of the workshop, sorry. And there, sure enough, is the forearm section of Gaius's, I think it was his left arm. I think it was his left arm and his right leg that were damaged. And he's repaired the carapace and he's sprayed up the paintwork to match it. And he's done so in such a way that it doesn't look like new. He's managed to respray it and age it a bit, sanded it a couple of edges off, so it doesn't look out of place against the rest of Gaius's slightly battered armour. He says, "Hey, look at that. We call it vintaged, pre-vintaged, that,
Yeah, does look pretty vintage, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Not done some bad work there, Les, I have to say. So anyway, the ways I come down here, it's that rifle that you gave me earlier on. I appear to have lost it.
You fucking lost it. How'd you do that? It's
yeah, well, I lose a lot of things, don't I?
Fucking hell, you are a fucking one. You want another one?
Yeah, or maybe, I don't know, another 2 or 3, or I don't know how many you got.
I mean, yeah, you best take a couple if you think you might be losing them a lot, I suppose. How many have I got? Oh, I fucking don't know. Let's have a look. Let's have a look in the fucking armory, you fucking slag. I've got 18.
18. That's a lot. Trying to think how many security guys are there working the carnival. There was that one guy who wanted one. I can't remember his name.
Yeah, Strang.
The Kyoshi ripoff.
Yeah.
And how many more do I know? Do we have like working security in general?
So you know that there's always 2 on the main gate, and it's usually Jax and one of the others. And there's often at least a dozen. There's at least a dozen people that work security, but they don't always work security. Some of them also at various acts in the carnival. But if they're not on that night, they'll be security instead.
No, you can spare half dozen, can you, Les? Half dozen.
Yeah. I suppose.
And ammo, of course. Yeah, ammo.
Will you give me a fellowship roll or charm or whatever you think is appropriate for
I shall
this.
go for a. Oh, go for charm. Or should I go for intimidate? No, it's not appropriate. I'll go for a charm.
Yeah, so it'd be a straight.
Oh, close. I'll go for a. Actually, no, I'll leave that. It's pretty close.
Okay. He says, "Oh, where have I put him now?" He says, "Well, not trying to be funny here, Kenny, but
Trying to be funny.
Inquisitor might notice if you take half a dozen. I don't know how well she keeps an eye. Tell you what, take 3 for now, yeah? Yeah, and
All
come
right,
back
Les,
in a
all
few
right, Les.
days.
Yeah. You're
I
a
mean,
good lad, Les. You're a good
I
lad.
don't-
You see me right, don't you, Les?
Yeah, I tried to see all of you lot. Tried to see all of you lot right. Just do us a favour, Kenny. Don't treat me like a cunt. I know you ain't lost it, yeah?
Yeah. I
you
lost
know.
it. No, seriously though, Les, what I'm doing is I want to up the security on the old carnival. A few of my
Oh.
buddies work security. Yeah, you never know when we might get attacked again. I'm not even flogging them. I'm not selling them for, you know what.
No, that's an honourable thing to do, I suppose. Very, very nice.
Yeah,
of you,
honourable me, honourable Kenny. That's what everyone says about me.
No,
He says, yeah.
honourable.
And I
Honourable.
suppose as well, if security of the carnival's increased, then the security of the mansion's increased too, innit?
Yeah.
Yeah, good point. But he piles up 3 of the rifles and he slaps down 9 clips for it. And he says, "Yeah, take them. Yeah, leave it a few days, and you fucking come back, and I'll give you a few more. Yeah, how's that?"
You're good man, Les. I've always said about you, good man. I'm glad to see you out and about as well.
Yeah, it's nice to get out. It's a little bit weird. I'll be honest. I've been in here a long time, you know. It's a bit
I can
strange.
tell.
Yeah, it's weird. I'll tell you what though. Missy's all right, isn't she? I ain't laid eyes on her before. I just heard her voice.
Oh yeah. You like old Missy, do you?
Yeah,
Maybe I could put in a good word for you, Les.
No, don't you be saying it out like that, Kenny. Fucking no, it's embarrassing, you know. It's like don't want to be, you know. Oh, maybe I'll you know, go down and introduce myself. I'm a big boy after all, you know.
Yeah, of course. You do that, Les. You let me know you get on.
Yeah, you lovely woman. I like some big. Yeah.
Yeah, me too. I know exactly what you mean. And then again, I like them small as well. In fact, you know, honestly, I'm not that fussy.
Yeah, me neither. I'll be honest. Yeah, it's been a long time. I've been down in here for years. And with that, he reaches into a drawer and then starts to pull out a magazine, and then sort of remembers you're there and shuts the drawer again.
Not now, Les. Not now, Les. Anyway, Les, I can see you want to be alone, so.
Yeah, oh, cheers. Yeah, I'll maybe finish this armour in the morning.
Yeah, you do that, and just don't get any special paint on the armour, will you?
The special paint. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Right, I'm going to, with that, on that high note, I'm going to head off.
Okay. Where would Canny be going?
I might as well head. What time does Carney shut?
Normally 11 o'clock to midnight-ish.
Okay, and that's about what time it is now.
Well, I mean, this can be happening at any point between sort of 6 p.m. and whenever you go to bed. So
Sure,
obviously,
I'll pop back out and go see Jackson Strang again.
Okay.
With my newfound rifles.
Right. Okie dokie. So as you head out of the mansion, you pass through the little shanty town where your home is. Horace, the Birdman, is still sat forlornly on the edge, peering off into the darkness. You don't see anyone else around. You do hear a few raised voices from one of the buildings behind the house that you've been given, but other than that, you don't see anybody else around.
Side quest.
We've already got too many side quests. I'm going to head over to the building nearby to us and just eavesdrop a little bit. I'm going to try and move silently.
Okay. Just give me a second to grab a beer, and then we'll do that.
I think I have moved silently, but never mind. Oh, no, I do have it. I do have it.
You've got silent move. It should be called silent roll for you.
That fat. Only about 25 stone.
What is that? What? It's only 25 stone?
Yeah.
Oh, man, the guy's as strong as a space marine. Should be like 30 stone of bodybuilder muscle.
I keep
average
adding on
bodybuilder-
every role play. I keep adding on a few kilograms.
Well, the average bodybuilder, you know what does strongman is like 28 to 30 stone. Or 32
is that
stone
right?
is the current strongman weight at the moment.
Is
The Ginger Scott's strongman of the world.
You're
Yeah.
right. Then maybe he should be a bit more. I kind of thought like, oh, I'll make him overweight, or what I thought would be overweight, but it sounds like actually that's not. That's probably a bit too light.
It's a bit too cut at the moment. Sorry, mate.
Yeah, you're right.
That weight
You're
is
right.
big.
Oh, but like I say, I keep adding on the weight every role play. So by the end of the campaign, assuming he
Be about-
survives, he's going to be about 50 stone. So
I've got to change guys' height because I meant him to be 5'7", not 6'4".
Right. So,
Got to do it now.
what's happened there?
185. I think that's 6 foot in it.
Okay, so you should be able to see the map of the little shanty town.
oh, put some dynamic lighting on.
Yeah, it was there before, but it didn't work for some reason.
No, it's well, this is new to me, I think.
So I'm going to mark the building where you can hear a bit of noise. Just going to put a little ring around it so you know which one I mean. So that building there is the one where you can hear just a few raised voices, not raised in anger. It sounds more like just people having a good time. You can hear a few cheers and laughs coming from this building.
No, I'm going to sneak up to the building.
Okay, give me a silent
Eavesdrop, yeah.
move test.
Yeah, a bit.
Aha! I'm going to try a fate point for that one.
Okay.
Aha! It's worse.
All right. So as you approach the building, are you peering in the window, or are you just creeping up?
I was gonna try and eavesdrop.
Okay.
But you know,
So-
I'm like just moving silently, you know, but not too suspiciously.
So you creep up, and you hear from the inside. You hear a number of voices. They don't sound. It's hard to pick out any individual voice, but make an awareness test. It would be hearing based. Not that I think that affects canny.
No, I don't have benefit to hearing.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah. From what you can gather, there's a lot of jokes, a lot of jovial shit being spoken about, and it sounds like people are swapping war stories, and you can hear the odd voice saying, "You remember that time Brian fucking fell on that landmine?" And just that sort of thing. It sounds like there's multiple people. It sounds like they might be drinking from the slurring of the voices, and they're just generally seems like they're just chatting, shooting the shit, reliving glory days gone by, things like that.
Is this where I think those mercs are staying?
The mercs are somewhere in this area, yeah.
Okay, so it could well be them. All right, okay. Well, I'm gonna creep away then. I think there's nothing too much to be gleaned there, and head off to the front gate.
Okay. So as you walk through the carnival, what sort of time did you want to be going to this?
Yeah, as long as I catch him before.
So it's during the carnival's opening times.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So yeah, there are a few people about, you know, customers and other carnies and things like that.
At the front gate.
And you head to the front gate, and there you see Strang and Jax. Strang is on duty again with Jax. Jax has his Deathlight lasgun that you gave him, and they're stood just chatting between themselves as you approach. And they see you coming, maybe? Yeah, they see you coming. And Jax goes, "Hey, Kenny, hey, you got..." He doesn't talk like that. Why is he talking like that? "Oh, yeah, Kenny, you got another one of them guns, have you?"
Yeah, of course I got another one. I said I would, didn't I? And fuck off, Hayden, you little wanker.
What?
What's he doing now?
What am I doing? What am I doing? You know what you've done.
Put a bra on him.
You know what you've done, Hayden.
Yeah, certainly did.
Strang just looks at you, looks at the las gun in your hand, then looks back at you and just goes, "Yeah."
Yeah, I said I'd get another one, didn't I? Words my bond. In fact, I got brought a few. Like, I don't know if you could think of anyone. I mean, I said I'd get a Strang one, but anyone else you could trust with one of these? Anyone who's
Couple of the boys that help on security here and what have you. Yeah, they could do with them. I'll leave that with me. I'll sort it out for you if you want, Kenny.
Yeah, you sort it out. You sort it out. I hand the one of the rifles over to Strang and give him three clips of ammo.
He takes the rifle, pockets the clips, and he just looks at the rifle for a minute. And then he looks at you and just goes,
Please stay out of trouble, Strang. I don't want to hear any fucking you getting into mischief with this rifle. Hey?
Might go hunting.
Yeah, well, if you go hunting, you get anything, think your old mate Canny. If you bring in any, I've got an appetite, haven't I?
Will do, Kenny.
Yeah. You scratch my back, I'll scratch yours.
Well, you got an itch, have you? You got.
Yeah. I can't reach.
Come here, mate. Strang just starts scratching your back for you. Strang is well known.
There's a dead zone on the back of Canny's back that you can't get to it.
He gets right in there and creates a hypnotic rippling effect. But Strang is well known as not being the brightest cannibal, but he can lift heavy things. He's quite strong.
Yeah. Kindred spirits, Canny then. Right. Well, I'll leave you gentlemen to it. Got places to go, people to see.
Yeah. Cheers, Kenny. It's much appreciated. And Jax takes the two lasguns and he just wedges them under the bridge that spans across to the island where the carnival is. Just wedges them under there for now. Says, "Yeah, I know just the fellas for them. Yeah, cheers."
Yeah. Good stuff. Right. Keep an eye out for me. Yeah, and I'll see you gents about.
Rightio. Take care of yourself, Kenny.
Yeah, I think that'll do me. I just head back and crash out for the night. I think.
Okay.
There's no other meandering around the carnival I want to do at this stage.
As you head back and you enter your bedroom, you see something laying on your bed. It's a small pile of thrones. A couple of higher denomination credit chips and a few thrones lying around with it as well. There's a total of 140 thrones there.
Gonna nod to myself, go, yeah, she's coming good. How the fuck did she get in my room though, eh? What I luck with this fucking room. I'll have to have a little word out. I might have had something lying around. Okay. But yeah, I'm gonna go to bed happy and content.
Okay, right. So
like Kenny's bra.
You're a cockend.
So at this point, we will return to Siegfried, Gaius, and Veneta as you return from the Reckless Endeavour. Now, just give me a minute to find the fucking thing. Where did I put it? Oh dear. There it is, maybe. That's not it. I know why. So, Siegfried, Veneta, and Gaius, you return home. Gladstock says, "Well, it's getting somewhat late, and I'm sure you all have business to attend to tomorrow. I'll leave you to it. Good night." And off he wanders. What would each of you like to do?
I'm just going to bid him good night. I'll be like, good night. Thank you.
Okay.
Good night, Gladstock.
I'm going to beat my night guards up. I'm going to beat myself.
I'm going to beat myself. Right. So, Gaius, are you heading off to bed to do a bit of flagellation?
Oh yeah.
No.
Sorry, it never gets old for me. Never gets old.
Okay. Siegfried, what are you doing?
I'm going to. I think I've run out of drugs. I'm going to go and see Dr.
Okay.
Pat. Oh, we're still on the ship, aren't we?
No, you've just come back. You're back in the mansion.
Yeah. So we're going to see Dr. Pagni and just ask if he's got anything that I can take for help me sleep.
Okay.
Like obscure.
Vanetta, have you? Is there anything you'd like to do with Vanetta?
She'll probably just have an early night. She's had a lot of excitement and a bit of drink tonight, which she doesn't normally do. So she'll probably just have an easy night.
Okie dokie.
Not going to go back to work, I don't think.
Right. So, Gaius, you head off to bed. How much time would you like to spend flagellating?
Oh, what is it?
It's about 11.
11. I'll spend a good hour flagellating.
Okay.
I need that 1 point.
I've
I've been doing it all heresy.
I know you've been doing it for forever, and it makes me weak because I need 1 point in weapon skill, and I've got a long way to go to catch you up, man.
It's not necessarily about how much time you put in. If you get lucky with your rolls, you don't have to put in as much time.
Okay.
So, yeah, give me a weapon skill test.
Mm-hmm. It's like a stranger doing it now. Okay, no modifier. Yeah, or is it?
Yeah, just a straight plus 10. Sorry, basic attack.
Okay.
Okay. It's not that you miss. That doesn't mean you
I'm
miss.
gonna hit myself more than once.
Well, this is for like the hour sort of thing. So you're not going to miss. It's for me to know something else. Roll a d5, please.
Oh, I have to actually type. What's it? /R
space d5.
Space D5 enter. 3.
Okay, and then give me a toughness test. Okay, so 3. Okay. Righty-ho. That's your flagellating done.
Oh, Pagni.
Carving into your chest had impure thoughts about Lady Pagni.
That'll be it.
Siegfried, you wander into the infirmary. Let's move that onto there, just so I can see who's in here. So at the minute there is not an Otto, despite what you can see. Why is that doing that? Give me control back of my game, you fiendish thing. There is no Otto. There is a Dr. Pench, and he's over here tidying up his tools. It looks like he's been working on some sort of chemicals, some sort of injectors. Look like there might be stims, something like that. Looks like that's what he's been spending most of his time. Trantia and Ferinus are still there, both of whom seem to be asleep at the minute.
Okay, that's good. Cause I can't be bothered to talk to them because it's late. So I'm just going to go up to Pench and be like, Pench, would you be able to assist me with an issue that I have? I'd kind of like something to take the edge off the evening.
Oh,
The edge off my trouble.
Yeah, the edge. I'll get it. You want to take the edge off? Yeah. I know what you're talking about. Yeah. And he glances over at Trantia and Ferinus and says, just hang on a minute. And he goes into the... Hang on. He goes into the back office, which is... I'll just move him so you can see where he goes. He goes into there for a moment. The little building just sort of directly north of where Titulos and Trantia are. And after a minute, you hear him rummaging around, and he comes back out, glances again at Titulos and Theranos, and he holds out 2 small black vials with some strange sort of powdery substance in, and says, "Is this what you're looking for?" And you recognise this as being Obscura.
Exactly what I'm looking for. Yeah.
Hey, here you go. Just that's on me. Just
Oh.
I am running a bit low. If you happen to come across any, see if you can get us some, or let us know where I can get us some from, won't you?
Yeah, I believe that we're trying to establish a contact at the moment. I believe that we may be able to work something out in that regard. Hate to be a cadger, but have you a pipe in which I could take this from, or something, or a device?
Hi.
I'm a bit new to this.
He says, "Yeah, I've got an old one. It's a bit grabby. Could do a little bit of a clean. Just a minute." He goes in the back again. He comes out and he brings you this Obscura pipe, and it is a bit grim. It looks like he's been using it for years. It's all tarred up and a bit scabby. But then again, you are basically taking the equivalent of heroin, so do you really give a shit about how clean it is? Yeah. Oh,
No.
you could clean it.
Like Heresy and the team of crackheads.
That'll do. I'll be like, that'll do, and then I'll be like, yeah, thank you, Patch. Yeah, I'm glad I can be assured of your discretion in all things, can't I?
Patient doctor confidentiality and all that. You know how it is.
You're a good man, Pench. I've always said so. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm starting to learn a bit of a way of charm from Canny.
You got to butter up your NPCs, man.
Yeah.
I'll just give him a nod as well. I don't know if I've got any IO sticks like that. Yeah. Or so I'll give him some thrones. I've got some thrones. I'm sure I've got some thrones. Yeah, I'll get you one in a sec. Okay.
Look for
Yeah.
training supply.
I'm just going to take 50 thrones. I'm just going to take thrones out.
Yes.
And I'm just
Not
going
for
to. Can I shake you? And I'm just going to go to shake his hand, and just pass it. Like,
Yep. And he takes it.
Thanks, Doc.
He takes it and goes, "Yeah, that'll about do it. Yeah. Cheers."
So,
He stuffs it in his pocket. So if you want to remove 50 thrones from your inventory, add 2 doses of Obscura and Obscura pipe. Hey, you.
I'm looking forward to the next game of Malfo again.
Oh man, I'm glad you enjoyed it.
It was good.
Yeah.
I like the tactical option. It was a bit of a surprise. Like,
You're just on the cusp of the rabbit hole, mate. There's still
It's very deep gameplay. I think.
The depth is what is one of the things I really like about
I
it.
really enjoyed it. It was nice. I like the card flipping as well. That was good.
Yeah, I kind of like the cards, the actual mechanism of the gameplay. It's good fun.
Yeah.
At first, I was a bit like, "Oh, I don't know. This feels like heresy."
No dice.
But at least you are guaranteed to eventually get a decent card. Whereas with dice, you could roll like shit all game, couldn't you? So
you would think that would mean that you can't have bad luck, but you can still have plenty of bad. You can still have a really bad luck all game. You'd think, it doesn't matter. You just get your high cards at the wrong time and the low cards.
I did all right with my cards. They were just about right for when I needed them.
Yeah,
which is all right.
I'll talk to you in the next week or so, Al, about coming around for a game. Actually,
you're welcome around. I've got my board set up, so you're welcome around anytime. Let me know.
Cool. Right. So Siegfried, what are you doing now? Gaius has gone to bed. Canny's gone to bed. Vanetta's gone to plug herself in. So Siegfried, it's just you up and about. What would you like to do?
I'm just going to go and I'm going to go and I'm going to use my gun cleaning kit and then just efficiently clean this pipe and try and clean it.
Nice.
You don't have to roll for anything like that. You could easily just scrub. It's not like a complex mechanism.
Okay, and then I'm just going to
Sort
take
that out.
a hit. Once I've done that, yeah,
So I'm just trying to find the obscure rules.
and then I'm going to basically hit.
Okay, so you have a bit of a smoke of your obscura. I would like to make a carouse test. I'm sort of going to be changing the carouse rules ever so slightly in the next game or so, but only for certain things, not for like standard drinking and stuff like that. Things like obscura, I'm going to make it so it's a little bit more potent than just having a drink. So just give me a normal carouse test for now.
Yeah.
There you go. You've passed that. So you take the hit. Roll a d5 for me, please.
Okay, /. Right, go with keyboard up.
And then roll a d10 for me, please. Okay, so for the next 4 hours, you're in a pretty nice, chilled out, dreamlike state. You pass your toughness test, so you don't experience the horrors that Obscura can bring you. You have a nice time in your room, just chilling out, reliving glory days, kills, the slit throats of young servants caught unawares in the castle grounds where you grew up. So for the next 4 hours,
and then as I'm imagining these things, I'm just going to reach downwards, and then it's going to fade out black.
Okay, so for the next 4 hours, you're going to
murder
be, you're going to be high. So that won't bother you because you're off to bed. But when you wake up until about midday, you will be a little bit depressed as the come down kicks in.
Oh well. Well, that'll be a suitable. It'd be suitable to help me represent a scrubber of some description. I'll be like, oh, today's scrubbing the pipes.
Yeah, that'll help.
That'll help.
So after a few hours of being high, you, like everyone else, go to sleep. Oh, one more thing. I forgot about that because I forgot to write in my notes and I wrote it on a bit of paper here. As you passed from the infirmary up to your room and you walked along the mezzanine where the portraits are, you noticed the portrait of Mesmeron as a child that you saw when you first entered the mansion is still there as normal. But the other picture you saw of what appears to be her with her mother and father and sister seems to have changed. There's now only one girl in it. The same girl in the solo picture, Mesmeron as a child. The other girl has vanished. But as you eventually get over your little high and you go to bed, Siegfried, you've had a strange and troubling day. A simple task to retrieve some personal items for Trantia led to quite a disturbing experience when you viewed the pictures on the mezzanine overlooking the foyer. The girl with the lopsided grin, Mesmeron, you're sure. The sudden revelation that she, as a child, had a twin sister. The horrific bending of reality you felt after viewing the portrait of the two girls, one smiling, one glowering, also strange and troubling. The screams you heard, the sounds of bickering children arguing, "No, he's mine! You can't have him! Mother gave him to me!" Very unsettling. And then in Trantia's room, discovering Miss Midkiff read the same trashy fiction as your mother, but then it is quite common and popular in this sector of space. Also, the sound of the child sobbing from behind a door that again you heard when you first arrived in the mansion. The strange flashback to the memory of being so very young, your father standing over the dying form of someone while something slithered towards the corpse in the darkness. Your father seeing you hiding there as a toddler in the barn. The cough of the dying form splattering you with blood. Your father carrying you away to find your mother. A strange memory, one you had forgotten. Strange and troubling day. Then seeing the strange child that fluctuated between standing stock still and then taking a couple of steps backwards, then forwards, then backwards, then forwards, calling for its mother over and over again. And to top it all off, rashaw soup, the starter you had for dinner. It was your absolute favourite. You were sure of this. But you also thought you've heard of this soup many times. What a strange combination of conflicting thoughts. Heard of it, your favourite. You realise as you consider this, that one of these thoughts was not true. It was not your thought. Rashaw soup is a very popular dish amongst the nobility of Scintilla. You know this from your time on Granithor, having heard it mentioned a number of times at the welcome dinners your family would home for visitors to the tombs, nobles travelling from other worlds to pay respects to the dead interred on your homeworld. But your favourite? You've never tried it before tonight. And you certainly never had any during your time on Scintilla, training in the House of the Whispered Hand after Seraph retrieved you from Iacanthos. Iacanthos? How strange that after all these months, Lady Pagni would drop in the conversation that Iacanthos has been destroyed by a meteor strike or something. It's the first you've heard of it. You did well to cover your surprise. Iacanthos. Iacanthos. As your body and mind begin to relax with the Obscura coursing through your veins, your thoughts drift back to your time on Iacanthos, the world where, for you, all this began. Iacanthos. You wonder briefly what became of Dick Pincher and the others that escaped the carnage of Seth's camp. The bounty hunter, Neas Lucilius, the young girl, Jazir, who you taught to shoot, Karna, the Ashleen warrior who Pincher spent the night with the day before her bondmate was killed by the Sandlurker. There were others too, other people you met and managed to interact with without murdering. It's becoming something of a habit. The mourner, the pet psyker of Maxim Den, Aristocrus, the old seer who sent you to the Seth's camp, Chizar, the warrior woman, Keir Mel, the death singer, Juletta Tursk, the wannabe criminal kingpin of Port Suffering, and her husband, for whom you procured a prosthetic arm taken from the corpse of Silas Malor, the first time you killed him. Dick's friend, Penny, the sister of the cleansing wave you met in Port Suffering, who joined you in bringing down Silas Malar in the cave beneath the port. What was her name again? You wonder, and you wonder. Iacanthos. Rashaw soup. And you drift off to sleep. Make a willpower test at -20.
Rashaw soup.
Oh, -20. This is really
Rashaw
grimmer, isn't it?
soup.
Rashaw soup.
It's not my favorite.
I'm
No.
supposed to drink it cold.
As you drift off to sleep, you feel a pull. Something clawing at your mind, gnawing at you for attention. Iacanthos. Rashaw soup. Your favourite. No, not your favourite. Not your favourite. But then whose? Sleep comes to you, and you dream. Muddy,
Soup dream.
confusing images, thoughts, feelings, jumbled and nonsensical. Rashaw soup. You quite enjoyed it. It wasn't as good as the last time you had it, but that was so very long ago, before your awakening. What? Awakening? These are not your thoughts. Eventually, the confusing tangle of your subconscious clarifies, and the dream becomes linear and vivid. So very vivid. You dream of a world seen from high orbit. The world of Iacanthos. You recognize it instantly. Last seen through the viewport of a shuttle that took you and Seraph to a transport and on to Scintilla. A number of huge Imperial warships hang silently in the void above this world in your dream. At the centre of this fleet, a vast black painted ship adorned with the symbol of the Adeptus Astra Telepathica. Dozens of tiny shuttles rise up from the planet's surface, utterly dwarfed by the monolithic black ship. The shuttles dock with the black vessel, and then return to the surface of the world, repeating the process over and over and over.
Whoa.
You spiral down towards the planet's surface, screaming through the clouds at breakneck speed, but you feel no fear. You are not falling. You are being pulled, perhaps? As the clouds part, you see a town, a dusty, run-down place. You swoop in low, tearing across the rooftops of shacks and lean-tos. Make an awareness test at +10.
Okay.
You recognise this place. This is Port Suffering, where you arrived on Acanthos, where you met Dick Pincher, the Ashleen warrior.
You can have that Fanta.
As you swoop in over the town,
Take the bottle of Fanta. You can have it. No, you can have it. One moment.
yeah, you're all right.
Yeah, have it. I'll get another one to work. No, you can have it. One moment.
Hmm.
I love my caravan.
The love caravan.
It's just so cool. It's just I tried the
Back.
gas. There was even gas in it, and it worked. Anyway, there we go.
So the gas bottles are legit. Then they still work with us. So
Yeah, cooked bacon and tea this morning.
you have. I'm drinking something else, Grace. Sorry. It's okay. Sorry, just Grace.
As you swoop in over the rooftops of Port Suffering, you see men, women, and children, all of them dark-skinned, the result of generations under the hot glare of this desert world's sun. They all have long, unwashed hair and dirty clothes. They don't look like they're in very good condition. They stand in long lines, bound in shackles, watched over by silent figures in black carapace armor, brandishing high-powered las rifles. The Ashleen, you realize, and they are in chains. Others stand and watch, judging from their attire and skin tone, these are not natives of the world. You recognize one of them, Giulietta Tursk. She glowers at the men in the black uniforms. Behind her stands her husband, recognizable by his prosthetic arm. He watches in stony silence as the primitive natives of Iacanthos, the Ashleen, are herded into dozens of shuttles that ring the outside wall of the port before being carried off to the waiting black ship high overhead. Make a willpower test. Straight willpower test.
Oh, just failed.
Your perspective changes, and you're suddenly soaring across the desert at breakneck speed, heading towards a mountain range north of the town. A building comes into view, a fortress, a vast thing of pale yellow stone. You flit over the battlements into the courtyard, and you see a blunt-nosed vessel, slab-sided and heavily armoured, bearing the symbol of the Inquisition. It stands on squat landing struts on the hard-baked earth as dozens of women, garbed in white vestments draped over black power armour, wielding bolt guns and chainswords, march towards the vehicle's boarding ramp. In their wake, dozens more women dressed in simple grey robes drag boxes and crates marked with all manner of symbols, denoting them as weapons and ammunition cases, food rations, technical equipment. One or two bear other markings, darker markings that hurt your mind to look at. Then you're into the fortress. No, not a fortress, a monastery or abbey of some kind, speeding past the warrior women, twisting and turning down corridor after corridor, then down a spiraling staircase, deeper and deeper into the earth, before you find yourself in a small antechamber. A huge stone door bearing warding symbols and the eye of the Inquisition bars your way, and you watch as another of the black-armoured warrior women reaches out with an ornate key. Her armour is more elaborate than the others you saw, signifying her rank, and her face is heavily scarred from some old wound. The door slides open with a low, ominous rumble, and reveals the chamber within. "It's time!" calls the Sister of Battle. "We have to leave." Make a willpower test.
Oh dear.
You glide into the chamber, a dark, cavernous space, sparsely lit by a handful of burning torches across the walls. It's cold within, and you step forward between thin supporting columns that disappear into the darkness towards an unseen ceiling high above. And suddenly you hear your boots echo on the stone floor as you cross to the centre of the room, no longer moving in some strange disembodied dream. You glance round at the Sister of Battle. She doesn't seem to notice you. Are you really there? On Iacanthos? Carved into the floor of this chamber is the Aquila, worn smooth by centuries of booted feet. And you notice runes carved here and there on the floor which sting your eyes when you look at them, runes like you saw in Trantia's room and in the cells in the basement of the mansion. You glance around this space and you appear to be alone, save for the sister at the door. And then a voice comes from the shadows. Is someone there? The voice is strange, unsettling. There's something very odd about it. It is I, Sister Superior Maylene, says the armoured woman at the doorway. Is everything all right? No, not you. You, comes the voice from the shadows. There's someone else here. It sounds like there's more than one speaker, speaking in unison. The voice is vaguely familiar. No, it's not. You've never heard this voice before. Who? Asks the sister. Who is here? She raises her bolter. A shadow moves. Something stirs in the darkness and then steps forward. And then you see her, standing where a moment before there was no one. A pale, gaunt figure of a woman, dressed in tattered robes. Lank, once blonde hair hangs limply around the haunted face of a woman that was once probably quite beautiful, but something has warped her and aged her. She clings to a staff topped with the brass eye of the Inquisition, and she hunched over. Her back is deformed, humped, and it moves, this hump on her back, squirming, seemingly of its own accord under her robe. Make a willpower test.
Pass.
I feel like I'm being punished for my.
Fail.
I feel like I'm being punished for my my not taking a willpower upgrade.
Make an awareness test. An awareness test at +10, please. Sight-based.
Mesmeron sister.
Pass. The resemblance is faint, masked by whatever has ravaged this poor twisted woman. Perhaps it's the eyes that give it away. Or maybe it's the lopsided smile she gives you as she speaks to the Sister of Battle. Could it be? Could it be the girl from the painting, albeit much, much older and twisted by something other than the ravages of time? She speaks once more, this strange double voice, speaking ever so slightly out of time with each other. My mistake, Sister Superior Maylene. Perhaps my mind is addled by the excitement of leaving this place after all these years. My old eyes play tricks on me in the darkness. And she looks straight at you.
I'll win.
She speaks again, although her mouth doesn't move this time. The words come straight into your mind, piercing into your brain with practiced ease, as the frail, hunched figure moves away from you towards the open door where the sister waits. Who are you? How did you get in here? Says a voice in your head.
Fucking hammer.
The sister does not relax her grip on her weapon. She peers into the darkness of the chamber, seeming to look straight through you, and then she turns and speaks to the hunchback woman and says, Why say there was someone here? If there is not, has your mind finally unwound itself? Perhaps the Inquisitor should check you over. You may be compromised. There have been many strange happenings on this world of late. He's waiting for you on the Thunderhawk. I will summon him here. No, I'm fine, Maylene. says the hunchback. Merely old and strange. She shuffles slowly towards the sister, and you see the hump on her back, and it writhes and squirms under the robes. Tell me, Sister Superior, what will become of the Ashleen? Will they stay here and burn with the rest of their world? The Sister Superior watches the hunchback with obvious contempt on her face. She says, many will. The Emperor, however, has use for those who have awakened. Yes, of course, whispers the hag. He has use for us all, doesn't he? And she turns her head and looks back over her shoulder at you and grins. All of us, says a voice in your mind. The hag grins a lopsided grin. Twisted and drooping slightly in the corner, the teeth are cracked and blackened. But there's no mistaking this. You've seen this grin before. On the paintings of the happy girl that have now vanished. On the strange, unresponsive child you saw calling for her mother in the mansion. And on the Inquisitor herself. I wonder, says the hag, as she shuffles closer towards the sister, what made Inquisitor Ma change his mind? He did not, answers the sister. But Varak placed him in charge of the observation of this world. Who would dare overrule him? Says the hag. Inquisitor Varak left Ma in charge, yes, but Ma left 2 weeks ago. The order to evacuate comes from Inquisitor Soldavan. He has rank here now, says Sister Maylene. The hunchback hag freezes. Soldavan? No, that's wrong. Inquisitor Varak ordered Iacanthos to be left intact. The prophecy is wrong, Persephone. Grins Sister Superior Maylene. Did your witch sight not show you this? She hefts a bolter once more. Was this not written in your precious books? Move now. The hag holds her position a moment longer, seeming to consider the sister's words. And then she slowly reaches up with withered, twisted hands and grabs the collar of her own robe. What are you doing? Demands the Sister Superior. Whatever it is, stop it right now. By the order of the Inquisition, stop. Persephone, the twin sister of Antonia Mesmeron, the hag under the mountain in Iacanthos, screams in pain as her hands ignite in flames, instantly scorching away her greasy, tattered robe to ash and smoke. You see runes hidden within the fabric smoulder and burn away, and then you see it. The thing fused into her back. It looks like a male child, maybe 7 or 8 years old, naked, withered, deformed, much like Persephone herself. It writhes in pain as its skin is blackened by the fire, and it screeches in agony and feebly lifts its head and looks straight at you, and its eyes are shimmering orbs of gold. They pierce your soul. You feel the burning rage of vast, dark things that should not be, scratching at the edge of reality, but are held at bay by the power of this thing, this wretched creature. And it speaks, the words booming into your mind with such a power that you feel your sanity tested. Tell her we need her help, please! It screams. Persephone, I order you to stop whatever you are doing! In the name of the God Emperor of mankind, stop this now! Yells the sister. The tyrant comes! The traveler returns! Screeches the child on Persephone's back. Boom! The single shot of a bolt gun rings out. You awaken in your bed, drenched in sweat. Make a toughness test. In your mind. Exactly.
You wee yourself.
I actually shit the bed. Can I take I'm going to use a fate point on this.
Okay.
That was that's
Yeah.
pretty bad fail.
Hate this.
Okay. So Siegfried,
Oh,
as well as being depressed, you're going to be fatigued for the next day due to a shitty, troubled sleep. I also need you to make a willpower test at +10.
How insane.
And I would like you to roll 2 d3s.
Oh, God.
Oh dear.
Oh, dear, oh, dear.
You take, if you could add this to your character sheet, please. You
Yeah.
take 3 insanity points and 3 corruption points from your disturbing experience.
Oh no.
I'm on 18 insanity points now. Is that a good thing? Or
That is a good thing.
It's fine. It's fine. There's no issue with that.
It's got to be a good thing, hasn't
How many corruption points have you got?
it?
Yeah, I didn't think you had many. Gaius.
Morning.
That was fucked up, Dave. Thanks.
Been waiting to do that since the other group left Diacanthos, basically.
I like. It's good. It was creepy as hell.
That black ship bits of the awoken Ashley. That's cool.
It's
Guys.
nice. It's nice to know they're going to a bed.
Was it 1 in 10? 1 in 10 got awoken on the planet.
The initial report was 1 in 10, and then Inquisitor Mar later revised his figure upwards to about 40% of the Ashleen were being awakened.
Whoa.
It was an unusually high birth rate of psychers, and a lot of mature people were suddenly being awoken due to Tissiak having suppressed their powers. Gaius, although perhaps not as intensely, repeatedly strange as Siegfried's day, you too have had a bit of a weird time today. Trantia! What the hell was going on there with Trantia? 1 second you were chatting to her, then you prayed with her, and she what exactly? Was she possessed? Was something speaking through her? Mesmeron has referred to her before as a conduit. Your soul is marked. She has marked you. You stink of purity. Those of us marked by greater beings than ourselves. Your breath is rusted iron. Your flesh writhes with maggots. The corrupter turned his hand from you, but not his gaze. These words echo in your mind over and over again. You find it difficult to sleep. The corrupter turned his hand from you. You've heard that phrase before. A few years ago, spoken by the man who freed you from Camp 109, Inquisitor Lystug, the man who left you in Dramar district and then vanished.
Thanks, Lystug. I'm quite
Whatever
grateful,
happened,
but still abandoned me there.
whatever happened earlier today, it was unsettling. You're sure that any other man, any normal man, may have felt fear at the disturbing voice and the manner of Trantia's speech, but you are no normal man. You are Gaius Mortalis, the last pure soul of Camp 109, the survivor of the horrors of that demon-infested world you called home, 47 Capella.
It's a beautiful place.
47 Capella. You drift off into a troubled sleep, waking multiple times during the night.
Fuck me,
Each
I can't wank with this
brief-
bionic cat.
This is post flagellation. Each brief, turbulent period of sleep is punctuated by imagery, flashes of memory from your time on that pestilent world. The ruined cities, the remnants of civilization that stood generations earlier before the war that ravaged the planet. The vast refugee camps, millions of people crammed into tents and hastily erected prefab buildings, the squalor, the filth, the spreading diseases that claimed so many of your friends and family, Mortalis. With the disease spreading, many believed the God Emperor had abandoned them and turned to other darker powers for deliverance, beseeching them for salvation. But not you. You believed the God Emperor had a plan for all. He had a plan for you. Something had answered them, those who turned their backs on the Emperor's light. It began with the guardsmen, those wounded in the line of duty. They began to speak of a new god who would reward those who paid homage, one who would bestow blessings and turn away death for the faithful. In time, these handful of demagogues became dozens, and then hundreds. Those who turned to worship of this new god, the Fly Lord, the Corrupter. They began to change. They were filled with a new vigour, preaching through the camps in filth-encrusted robes, concealing their rotting faces, while their phlegm-ridden voices beseeched any who would listen to follow them into glory. Mortalis. The Scourge, they called themselves, corrupted mind, body, and spirit. Civil war soon broke out within the camps. The leaders of each side... Is it? Oh, it is, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
The leaders of each side were the preachers of the various orders. On one side, zealots of a dozen different cults of the Imperial Creed gathered the faithful and led them in assaults against the plague-ridden Fanes of the Scourge. On the other, the demagogues of the Scourge rallied their sickly flock, forming them into fly-infested waves of filth that overcame any who stood before it. Those killed by the Scourge rose up again, cheating death, shambling through the camps as the walking dead. Many loyal to the Golden Throne were captured, thrust into cages made of rusted iron and the bones of the dead. Their wounds festered, their pestilence taking them too in time. This was to be your fate, the slow death of disease and decay. Only you did not die. You did not succumb to disease, and your faith, although tested, remained intact. You became a curiosity to the Scourge. They tormented you, poking at you with filth-encrusted weapons, but time and time again, your wounds healed and the rot did not take hold. "We should kill him," gurgled one of their leaders. "His faith in the God Emperor has not wavered. He plays constantly for salvation. He unsettles some of the lesser gifted, my lord." "No," burbled a deep, foul voice from the shadows. Something huge and vast moved, surrounded by a huge cloud of flies. The smell emanating from it made you retch. "None resist the power of our Lord of Decay. He will break. He will break. Mortalis." Days. Weeks. Months. How long were you in that cage? Time lost all meaning. But you did not break. You survived on the vermin that strayed into your cage. They seemed strangely tame, never resisting or attempting to flee as you smashed in their skulls and feasted upon their flesh. Their strangely untainted flesh. The God Emperor has a plan for all. He has a plan for you. These were the thoughts that kept you going. Your faith gave you strength, courage, and the vermin, the small, usually skittish rodents, fueled your body, and you waited and you resisted and you watched from your cage. And you watched the night everything changed. When the Scourge took the dead, thousands of them, and piled them high in the center of the camp, and carried out a dark rite. The bloated corpses split asunder, from each emerging a vile creature, a denizen of the warp, a bearer of plague, and the towering mass of rotting flesh at the centre, the one they called Kol Hogath, the diseased, laughed. The demons freshly vomited forth from the warp set out across the world, spreading to other camps. 47 Capella, it seemed, was doomed, and you watched, powerless in your cage. But then, deliverance. The thudding boom of bolters, the roar of chainsaws, and the bellowed prayers to the God Emperor heralded their arrival. Like angels of vengeance, they swept through the camp, forming a ring around a central group of figures. They came, putting all to the blade, cleansing with blessed promethium. The corruption, the rot, the vile masses of putrid flesh that had begun to cover the ground throughout the camp seemed to recoil, shrinking back from the very presence of these women. as though they exuded a palpable aura of purity that could push back the vile plague. Sisters Hospitaller, you learned later, they were called. The Order of the Cleansing Wave. Healers, said to use their faith as much as their skill to cure the afflicted. At the center of them came a group of strange, mismatched warriors, no two arm the same, some wielding unusual and terrifying powers and weapons like nothing you had ever seen. The sisters surrounded the vile bulk of Col Horgath the diseased, chanting prayers and praises to the saints. The sororitas crippled the servant of Nurgle, purging its bloated, decaying corpse of contagion, so that only a dried, shriveled husk remained. Yet still the power of Nurgle animated the demon prince's form. It slew many of the sisters, and attempted to flee. Yet at that moment, the warriors at the centre launched their attack, and one of them, a man of advanced age, bedecked in silver armour, splattered with gore and filth, stepped into the circle of purity, and delivered a single crushing blow. In an instant, the demon prince of Nurgle was struck down, and its plagues halted. Inquisitor Lystug, after months of interrogation, physical, mental, and spiritual examination, Lystug declared you free of any taint. I have use for men like you, men whose faith, whose conviction is unwavering. I have a task for you, a test, if you will, he said. Within a few months, you found yourself on Scintilla, capital of Calexis, the corrupt Dramar district. You are now an enforcer in one of the most corrupt areas of this foul city, Lystug had said. You will work with these corrupt enforcers of the law. You will compile reports on their crimes and their heresies, but you will not act against them. Maintain your cover until I return for you. Welcome to the Inquisition, Gaius Mortalis. Mesmeron later told you there was no record of anyone named Lystug in the Inquisition. 3 years you waited in Dramar, in the moral decay of that foul place, and then one day the Arbites finally came, sweeping through the streets in lockstep formation with shields and shotguns and bolters. You were in awe. They purged Dramar in a matter of hours. And then Gladstock came for you. But you never saw Inquisitor Lystug again. Until now.
In my dreams.
Mortalis, you awake, sitting bolt upright in your bed in the mansion, and there, standing a few feet away, the silver power-armoured form of Inquisitor Lystug stands, watching you.
What the hell? Inquisitor, Lystug, sir.
Annie,
Hello.
just to build up a bit more suspense.
What Death Star are you going to get into? Kenny had a happy life, rolling around things and casually bludgeoning people. It was a nice existence. He grew very happy.
The best thing about this, all this shit I'm doing right now, is that each of you has a separate file that is called Siegfried's Sleepy Time or Canny's Sleepy Time. And it's like, it's just not. Canny,
Black folder.
you sleep untroubled, peaceful. You dream of past victories, the carnage and slaughter of the arena, the roar of the crowd, the blood, the limbs, the chunks of flesh flying everywhere. Flesh. Good times. You remember little of the times before the carnival. You were very young. Small fragments of memory, the occasional glimpse of people staring at you, their bodies covered in gore-splattered aprons, their faces hidden behind disturbing masks. Strangely blurred, your vision rippling, as though viewed through viscous liquid or thick glass. But who cares? That was before. The thud of the gavel. Sold, yelled a voice. Well, young man, said Wiley McCann, you're going to make me a lot of thrones. And you did. And you were rewarded. Drink, drugs, food, whatever you wanted. Good times. The thud of the gavel. The thud of the gavel. The thud of the gavel. Hang on. You awaken, Someone's knocking on your bedroom door.
How many times you call this? I'm trying to get some fucking sleep.
Kenny, something fucking weird's happened. It's Spring.
All right, come in, Spring. Let yourself in like you usually do.
She bursts in and she says, at first I was like, oh, it's just Kenny playing a little joke. And I was like, well, two can play that game. I was going to sneak in your room and like move your bed or something like, oh, that'll fuck with his head and all that. And then it happened again. And I was like, oh, all right, so how's he done that? Because he's a big fella. And I don't think he could get in or out of here without me seeing. And then I went to sleepy and I woke up needing this shit. So I got up and it fucking happened again. And I was like, oh, now it's weird because I'm like easily woken did happen. And I would have heard you come in. But then I was like, oh, what if it's Gladders? Oh, what if it's Gladders? He's sneaky. And I was like, oh, fuck. There's that creepy wormy man being in my room. And I was all like, pervert, and everything. And then I went and put my pants on to go for a shit. And when I turned around, it happened again. And I was like, this isn't Kenny. What's going on? There's things and stuff happening. I don't like it. And it's like that time I accidentally kicked in the bilge. But instead of the void rats taking me stuff, they were bringing me stuff. And I had to look for void rats. But they was always pissing on everything. So I licked the shelf. But that was no good because I couldn't taste no rat piss. So I was like, oh, fuck. I don't know what I want to do. So I came here and then I told you what happened.
What the fuck are you on about, Spring? Sit down, calm down. I'm going to
Right.
pull out pack of IO sticks.
Okay. Right.
Take one of these.
Yeah, she takes
It's
one.
good for your nerves.
Right, yeah, calm. Yeah, right. Okay. So remember the ornament, the thing I
I
stole.
do remember, yes.
The thing I stole from your mate, yeah. Right, well, I took it back because you told me off in that, and I was like, fair play, because Lady Mezzers says there was rules in that, but now I didn't know the rules, and then you said don't steal from the carnival, and I was like, oh, that's a rule. Right, fuck me, I didn't know. So yeah, anyway, I took it back to your mate Baz, and Baz was like, nah, keep it, and I was like, nah, I can't, and he was like, nah, keep it, and I was like, nah, I can't, and he was like, nah, keep it, and I was like, no, I can't, and he was like, no, fucking keep it, and I'm like, no, fucking mate, I can't fucking keep it. Kenny's gonna fucking pull my arms off and stick them up my porthole. And Sel's like, this is intolerable. Can you not see you are ruining my vibe, man? And Baz was like, pass me the special mustard. And Sel's like, I am not here to fetch and carry for you, Basil, my good man. I am currently off the clock and under no obligation to furnish you with condiments because I was eating Samp dogs and that. And I was like, oh, can I have one? And Baz was like, yeah, girl, you go. And that special mustard's fucking ace, Kenny. Fucking incredible. Oh, yeah. So anyway, I took it back, like I said. And then when I went to me hole for sleepy time, I went in and the fucking thing was back, Kenny. I fucking swear on the shimmery curtain that I did not fucking steal it back again. But the fucking ornament, the fucking
Snow globe.
thing, yeah, the fucking thing I stole, it was back in my room, Kenny.
Well, how do you explain that then?
Well, I don't know, you see.
I mean, that would have been a good joke if I'd have thought of it and put that back in your room and then put some more pressure on you. That would have been a good joke, I'll be honest. But no, I didn't think about it. I wasn't clever enough to think of that one.
I was all excited because I was like, is this the beginning of a little prank war? You know, but then you see, I think it was you playing a little joke, and I thought, okay, I'll get it. We're just having a little fun, and I was going to like play a joke back on you, right? So I went to sleepy sleep, thinking about how I'll get you back, and I woke up, my guts were gurgling like a leaky bilge pump, and I was like, whoa, I'm going to shit the bed again. So I got up to take a ploppy plop, don't I? And there's another one on the shelf. There's two of them. So like, I mean, you ain't that sneaky, and no one sneaks past Spring in sleepy sleep time, because that's back on the misery cord. You learn to wake up when the waterfuck farts. So I was like, well, if it's not Canny, who else is a sneaky cunt? I think Gladys is a sneaky cunt, but he's not like up for a laugh in that. So I was like, does he fancy me? Is he bringing me shit because he wants to put his worm in my porthole? And then I was like, nah, fuck that. I'll put my pants on. Turned around and go for a shit. And there was another one, Kenny, a fucking third one. It just appeared in a few blinks while I was putting my undercrackers on.
Go have a look now. Let's see. Let me see with my own eyes.
Let's go and have a look.
Head off to Spring's room.
Spring leads you into her room, and it is a fucking state. There's just random shit all over. You recognise plates, cups, and a couple of candelabra from the dining room. There's some pots and pans piled in a corner. There's a pile of tools on the dresser, an anti-radiation suit that appears to have been decorated with a riot of bizarre graffiti. Most of the items strewn around the room are clearly random items from around the mansion. Spring stands just inside the door and points at the shelf on the far wall. And sure enough, sitting there on the shelf are now 5 small plaster of Paris replicas of the big top. And she goes, "Fucking hell, there's another one!"
Don't you worry, don't you worry, Spring. You settle yourself down. Don't you worry about a thing. I'm going to pull out the ethereoscope,
Okay.
psychic scanner. I'm going to do a little scan of the room, please.
Okay, give me a tech use test at plus 20, please.
Plus 2.
Da-da-da-da-da-da.
Oh, pit fighter to have his own psychic scanner.
Yeah.
Let's get this out.
Tech use test, eh?
No. 12. Was that with your plus 20?
Well, plus 20. Yeah, it still would have been a fail. That would have been a 32 I needed.
Yeah, just wax everywhere. You do not detect anything unusual. No, nothing in particular. Although there is a faint signal coming from just pretty much everywhere.
Let's say Spring. Spring, look at the positive side. If you keep getting more and more of these, we might be able to sell them. Might be worth some money.
Fucking hell, I never thought of that, Kenny. We could be into a fucking gold mine here. Oh, speaking of which, did you get the phones?
Yeah, I did. You did good there. Yeah, but you know, how'd you get into my room? I locked that fucking door.
Yeah, I know you did. Don't you worry, Kenny. I'm not going to do nothing but drop your phones off. I thought it was better to drop them off there when no one was around rather than giving you them, when everyone else is around. Because between me and you, you know the money that I got given for the shopping trip.
Oh yeah.
That's the change.
Oh, you're good and Spring. Tell you what, Spring. Seems like why don't I stay here in your room and just in case anything comes to threaten you, like.
Oh, that'd be
sexy, like. Yeah.
That'd be really nice here.
Yeah, that's nice. Me, Kenny, a nice guy.
Yeah, I know. It's like when you first threatened to kill me, I was a bit scared. But yeah, I tell you what. Like, while you're here, look at this. Look at this. I kept a few of them thrones, the change for myself, and I've been down in the armory when Les wasn't looking. Got these, and she pulls out a couple of stub automatics that you recognise as having been in the armory. Obviously, Spring thinks she's stolen them from the armory, but you're allowed to take them. But what she now has on one of them is a silencer. They both have red dots. And she pops one of the clips out and goes, "And look at these special bullets. Bought them while I was up Hive, while Ferrinus and Otto weren't looking. What do you reckon?" And she stands there with these 2 pistols in her hand.
You look fearsome, Spring. Fearsome. No one's gonna fuck with us.
Yeah, exactly, Kenny. Exactly. Right, I need you to make an awareness test at plus 10. It is not sight-based. What have you got?
It's a pass.
It's a pass.
1.8 degrees.
Cool. As you stood talking to Spring, you hear a noise outside the door in the corridor. You hear a clunk, like a mechanical, repeated clunking noise.
You hear that? Sounds like fucking Jeeves is on one again.
She says, "You hear what?" "I didn't hear nothing." And she draws the pistols again and stands there looking scared.
Yeah, well, watch out for trouble. You cover me.
Yeah, I'll cover you.
I'll pull out both my meat cleavers and walk out into the corridor.
Sure enough, trailing down the corridor, one track appears to have lost a link at some point recently, and it's clunking along. Jeeves is rolling down the corridor, and he's carrying something about maybe a meter long in his arms, and he turns towards your room, pushes the door open, and rolls inside to your room.
What the fuck is this all about? I'm gonna sheathe the cleavers and go and follow Jeeves. Jeeves, you're a fucking liability, mate.
He stops, turns round in the door, glances with his dead eyes at you for a moment, and you see what he's holding in his hands, or in his massive power claw in his normal hand, is a human arm. He looks at you for a moment and then turns back round, rolls across your dresser, places the arm on your dresser, and then turns and rolls back towards the door to leave the room, but then stops because you're in his way.
Does it look like
Hey, I'm
Geiss's
gonna-
arm?
I'm going to put the arm in one of my drawers. So it's going to put it in there and then head back over to Springs.
Well, what's the condition of fingers on that arm?
As you pick it up, it is ice cold, as though it's just come out of the cold storage room down in the basement.
Oh, nice one. Well, that's breakfast sorted.
You've
Have a
done
look
all
at the
right there,
fingers.
Jeeves. You're not a liability. I'll take it back.
Can you have a look at the fingers on that arm, please?
He
I
turns
don't
back.
know, I'm hearing a voice in my head. It's telling me that I need to look at the
Sorry, I
fingers.
I just
I'll have a
It's-
look at the fingers on the arm.
It's just got normal fingers.
I don't
This
know
is what-
why I've got this impulse to look at the fingers, but I do. I don't know why. I'll put it back in the drawer.
Just if they were skinned or anything, that's all.
just perfectly normal fingers.
It makes me feel
Um,
better.
As you say to Jeeves that he's all right, he spins round again, and he sort of upsets his balance as he does so and bumps into the wall, nearly falls over, and he goes, "You're welcome, Kenny," and turns round and rolls back out of the room.
Wink at Jeeves and then head back to Springs.
Spring all this time has stood right behind you, and as you head back into the room, there is now a sixth plaster of Paris Big Top on the shelf.
Yeah, it's getting a bit weird, Spring. Eh? Getting a bit weird, but we're going to be in the money soon. These things are worth at least 2 thrones each.
I know, but I don't like it, Kenny. Where are they coming from?
Well, I don't fucking know, do I? What do I look like? Fucking, I don't know. I don't even have the words. Yeah, just input some words there that will make some sense.
As you stand there talking to Spring, you see tiny fragments of what look like bone float up from the floor. It appears like a thin layer of the floor has cracked, shattered, and lifts up into the air. And it glides over to the shelf, all these fragments like in a cloud, and then they slowly coalesce and form into yet another one of these big tops.
Okay, so out of character, I'm pretty damn sure I know what's going on. In character, I'm having a fucking Scooby. So I don't think I've. Well, actually, I don't know how much I know about the mansion and how it repairs itself and all this. And I don't know. I don't know how much I do know.
Make an intelligence test.
Yeah.
But with a +10, because you have been present for a couple of bits and pieces. Oh, thank you,
Let's
darling.
have a go.
Yeah, Kenny's smart. He'll figure it out.
Oh, actually, that's not a bad roll. Here we go.
Hey,
What have you got?
I got a 30 and I needed a 34. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you've seen the mansion repair itself. You've seen the fragments of doors and things like that after they've been blasted. You realise that what's happening here is these big tops are being formed out of whatever it is the mansion's made of. And you probably don't understand, exactly what that is and what that means, but you do know it's coming from the mansion. Did Canny go to the Shattered Foundry?
No, it was Panetta.
And at no point has he's not ever encountered Alyssa, has he?
No, that's the thing. What have I seen? I seem to think I've spoken to Vanessa about Alyssa, but I'm not sure. I can't remember exactly what I've said and what I know, but I've definitely never been to the Foundry.
You have spoken to Alyssa. Alyssa spoke to you all in the hollow
Yeah,
projector
yeah.
room. So you would recognise the voice that Jeeves spoke in as Alyssa's voice.
Okay. Yeah, I think I'm going to say Spring. I think don't you worry. I think our new guest in the computer system is just finding a way around. She's trying to be helpful. I think she's seeing you like these things and she's making them for you.
You
I
mean
won't
the
worry.
ghost? You mean the ghost?
Yeah, well, yeah, I mean ghost. You could call her a ghost, or yeah, that's the one.
We used to have them back home on the ship. Ghosts.
Yeah,
You didn't fuck with them, and they weren't nice.
this one's all right. I think she's good at heart. I think. Anyway, I'll stay with you tonight. I'll protect you.
Okay. So you're spending the rest of the night in Spring's room.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. I'm just going to grab a beer.
Objective-based game.
Hey?
Your
Sorry?
thing. I'm still looking forward to playing Malphite
Oh,
again.
Brownie was telling me a bit about your crew, which I didn't
Yeah.
realise. I don't know if you looked at the cards. There's an ability on there, which is like another racial, you might call it ability, and it's what's it called? But what they do is the demons, the little tots. Well, all the demons, they kind of like eat
They're dead.
the dead, and then they get bigger.
Oh,
So it's this
yes, I did
relish
look
in
at that
blood.
beginning
Relish
game,
in
but I didn't
blood.
remember it.
It's
I was
relish
too
in blood.
busy
So
trying to pick everything else up.
yeah, there's a lot to keep track of. I mean, but say if you kill a model, or if you eat a corpse, if you remove a corpse marker, you can grow. You get a grow token. If you get two of
Yeah,
them,
and
you
that-
can turn into like a bigger demon. So the tots can turn into the young Nephilim, and then the young Nephilim can turn into the mature
Mature
Nephilim. So yeah, so all of them grow as they
Oh,
feed.
that's disgraceful.
It is
That's
disgraceful. Yeah, that is
next to a
disgraceful.
load of disgraceful. I did like nicking the objectives and flying away with them. That was very much
Yeah,
fun.
yeah. You played well, mate. You did well,
It wasn't bad for.
especially for your first game. So
Well, it was pretty simple enough, and because I played that many different
yeah, exactly.
scenarios
Yeah,
out of kill stream, it was just once I got objective based in my head, I was like, oh well, it's not about killing you; it's about getting these things over to score points.
yeah. It's that's the way to do it. And
Yeah.
yeah, so fair play to you.
Okay.
Best in me fair and square.
I did enjoy picking up your objectives. It made you
I bet you did. I bet you did.
get me.
I could see how much glee you were getting from
No, it's
from your sneaky behaviour, hiding behind terrain and like, trying to deny any more VPs. So
I know. I'm sorry, man. I played like Johnny.
I'll
It works sometimes.
Learn from the best.
I'll say to Spring. You don't mind if I share your bed, do you?
She's like, well, yeah, all right, but don't you be trying to poke in me porthole.
No, I wouldn't think of it. I wouldn't dream of it.
Okay. And she climbs into the bed, and she's a bit wary at first. I would like you to make a charm test
A cuddly bear test.
at where's Spring?
Big cuddly
Spring.
pig.
Oh. That'd be a plus 20.
Oh, I can't believe the death threats didn't really put her off.
Oh, you lost a lot of rep with her for that, but then you've gained a lot since. So, oh, look at that.
Looking good.
So she lays there a bit nervous at first, sort of right at the edge of the bed, keeping away from you. But as you eventually fall asleep, and in the morning when you wake up, you find her snuggled into the side of you like a small child, like curled up in a little ball, snuggled right into you with her head resting almost in the folds of your armpit flab. And she looks really happy. She looks really happy and content.
Good stuff. Well, I'll be in no rush to get up then. So
Okay.
Big bear.
Gaius.
go for a
Oh.
splash.
Oh my goodness. You're here in my room with your silver shiny armor. How did you get into my room, sir?
There are few places an Inquisitor cannot access, Gaius. I'm sure you've learned that lately. Here.
So, where have you been?
I'm sure you understand my reluctance to answer that question.
I'm sorry I was not in Scintilla. What was your thoughts? I thought I was picked up here. Did you know anything about it? They said they didn't know anything about you either when they checked the date slate.
Of course. Yes, they would find very little about me. I've come here to talk
Nice.
about you, not me.
Well, Livestock, I've had years. I've had a few years to think over these questions. Has it been months?
It's been years since you last saw him.
Yeah, having a few years. I have a lot of things to say, but what do you need, Livestock?
You have done Well, Gaius, better than I expected. After I found you on Capella, I realized there was something unusual about you. How could one man resist that foul corruption, untainted, unmarked by the filth and decay of the camp I dragged you from? The answer, of course, was obvious. Purity. Spiritual purity. But of course, I need more than merely servants with faith. A strong moral compass is needed too. Dramar had been a thorn in the side of the powers of Hive Sibyllus for some time. It would have been an easy matter to purge it at any time. It served little use. But instead, I realized I could use it as a crucible, a place to forge a weapon, a place to test your moral fiber.
Yeah.
Almost 3 years, Gaius, living amongst those sinners, watching them. You must have been tempted. You must have been furious at what you saw those corrupting forces doing, knowing you had been ordered to stand by and watch, powerless to prevent their wickedness, and then to have reported their acts to the Arbeits only for nothing to happen. Frustrating, I imagine.
Yes, but I have faith in my purpose.
And your faith is needed and will be tested, Gaius. I had planned on leaving you there longer, but someone interfered. Mesmeron, Varak, Soldavan, whoever. Still, Hive Sibyllus is now home to one less vile cesspit, at least.
Lystug, are you here right now?
He steps towards you, and you hear the whine of the servo motors in his power armor, and you feel the vibration of this very heavy suit of armor walking across the wraithbone floor. And he stands right by your bed, reaches out and touches you, and you feel the presence of this power armored gauntlet on your arm.
Okay, that's enough confirmation. It's just I had such a vivid dream, and then there you were. It makes a man doubt. I've seen a lot. Lystug. You should know from being on 47 Kabila. I've seen a lot. I know things are set in front of you, illusions, misconceptions, and you can never be sure of what you see. I know this.
Gaius, I realize where you are now is unsettling, troubling, strange.
Yes, but I'm not afraid
Possibly
of it.
fear. Fear is not something you will ever fear. Fear? Feel, Mortalis. You never have. You never will. This ritual that Mesmeron has put you through, do you believe the power you received comes from her or from you?
Now that you say it, I feel like it comes from me. How can she give me power? She's not the God Emperor himself.
You understand, finally. You were always destined to walk this path, Gaius. But the means by which you came to these powers are not what I had chosen for you. But still, needs must, I suppose.
This
Sorry?
is the trouble of walking through your crucible, I suppose, Lystug.
Yes. It's a
Sometimes you have to tread on fire and take away the scars with you to carry on.
Gaius, there will be fire. There will be scars. You are not yet out of the crucible.
Carry on anyway, Lystug. What is the purpose? Meaning, it's been such a long time. You must need me in some way. And why only now?
Well, what do you think happened Behold, Gaius, back on Hive Sibyllus. What do you think happened when Lord Hilaris's estate collapsed? He'd recently been implicated in the corruption in Dromar district, and then, lo and behold, an inquisitorial raid, and his entire estate collapses down to the mid-hive, and just happens to take Dromar district with it. What a coincidence!
Coincidence there? Were you responsible?
No. I would like to know who was. It was a shame, though, that Lord Hilaris died, taking all witnesses to his wrongdoing with him. No evidence, no trail. How very unfortunate. How very unlikely. Of course.
I've got to scrape my brain backwards for this one, Dave.
Yeah?
I mean, like, to try and remember right at the start of the game.
Okay.
It's
So you remember what happened with the Arbites, how they raided the place, but then the leader of the local enforcers was not captured. He disappeared, and you were basically used as bait to lure him out. And Siegfried was sent to protect you. You did that. You then found him in that manufactorum where they were making servitor components.
Well, didn't. Oh yeah, the man.
They were making servitor components that would be able to be attached to a servitor and allow someone with an uplink device to control the servitors directly. Basically, similar
Bit
to
like the
what
factory
you saw in the Factorum.
Yes.
The Factorum was producing the full servitors. The factory you found on Scintilla was producing the devices that were fitted to servitors that would specifically give you that function.
Okay.
And also, Lord Hilaris was implicated in that because it was his factory. And when Mesmeron's forces raided Lord Hilaris's estate, the whole thing detonated, and she lost everyone, which is why she's ended up working with such a junior team of acolytes.
Yeah, got you.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just a long time. That was right at the start.
I know. Yeah, it was. It was a long time. I've never got any issue relaying stuff like that. There's some things I might ask you to make.
I just don't want to act like I know. I want to be well read with my answers.
Yeah,
Sorry,
that's
Dave.
fine. No, that's absolutely fine. That's better than just going blind, I think.
Yeah, I don't like to do that.
So where were we? Right, he continues. Of course, Inquisitor Mesmeron was the most unfortunate of all. So many of her people killed in the collapsed sector. All her experienced acolytes and agents, platoon of stormtroopers gone, crushed, hurled into the depths of the hive. All because she sent them there to Lord Hilaris's estate based on intel gathered by you and your noble friend. You must feel guilt, do you not?
No.
Really? So many loyal servants of the throne lost, and now she's left with what? A handful of inexperienced freaks, sinners, wanted criminals, and, of course, you.
Oh, what does guilt gain? There's no possible reason I should feel it.
This is another of the reasons that I chose you. And now here you are, Desilium. I can feel it. The rot, the moral decay. It's in the soil of the world. It's in the walls of the hive, in the air itself. It's in the mountains. And now she has marked you. I had not expected that, to be honest. Still, one could look upon this as an unfortunate turn of events or as an opportunity. I am ever the optimist, Gaius. Your test has only just begun, Gaius Mortalis, last pure man of Camp 109.
Are you telling me that I need to be more careful of Mesmeron?
You should always be careful of
I
Inquisitor
have been
Mesmeron.
I have been so far, but what are you saying? Do you think she has gone over the line?
Oh, without a doubt. She did that many years ago. That whole thing with her former master. The whole business with the Acolytes undying, so many strange things occurred, and then here we are, and Gladstock. I thought Gladstock had been arrested, yet he's here too. How very strange.
So, are you telling me I'm working with a heretic?
Well, obviously you are.
Yes, I thought I might be, but sometimes you just need a bit of confirmation.
However, Antonia Mesmeron has her part to play. There are many pieces in motion, Gaius. It is a complex machine we operate. You are a very vital part of that complex machine, and you are right where I want you to be for now. Do you understand?
So, how did you get here?
I have my ways.
Yes, but was your way in
Please.
in a trans-dimensional mansion? In my room, in a place I cannot even fathom to comprehend where it exists, and you've managed to teleport straight into my room to talk to me. I'm a little bit skeptical.
Teleport? Nonsense. I'd walked in the front door.
Where from?
Well, Desolium, of course.
Yes, but what part? Who let
Well,
you in?
specifically, part of catastrophe.
Okay. I'm sorry, but I'm a police officer as well, aren't I? You set me into this job. I have to make sure my links are solid.
Another quality I admire in you, Gaius. So inquisitive, curious.
I also feel like you're buttering me up.
Well, of course. You're
What
my
did
little pet project.
What did you want me to do? Keep tabs on Mesmeron. Is that what you're saying?
Serve her. Continue to serve her. I will contact you, should that change.
I'm very conflicted here, I must say. I'll be completely honest with you. This is very strange because I feel like I've come through a dream and you're here. You've touched me and it was very real.
You should get some rest, Gaius. You're going to need it, after all. Sleep, Gaius.
Well, thank you,
Sleep.
Livestock. Do I resist psychic? Do I resist it? Do I resist it?
Don't look around my eyes. Don't look around my eyes. Look into my eyes. And
I would like you. I would like you to make a test for me. It will be.
Got to resist mind stuff, haven't I?
Yeah, it will be your willpower. You get plus 10 resistance and plus 10 for orthoproxy. So I think
Yes.
that's 57.
Yes, that's good.
Aha! What have you got?
54. It's just enough.
Okay.
But guys, it's good for willpower immunity. Buffed him up there as a tank, both toughness and mental.
Yeah. That was close.
It was. Even so, I'm off to bed. Night, night.
Your eyes close. You feel your whole body is very heavy, and you just let the sleep take you. And you see the last image of Inquisitor Livestock as he says once more, "Sleep, Gaius." He turns and walks away, and you hear the thud of his boots fade as he reaches towards the door, and then you're out.
That was very interesting. Said she was a heretic from the start. Is this an illusion? Is it the ship doing strange things? But I don't know that. Can't believe what I see.
Okay, so everyone's asleep So the next morning, what happens the next morning? I don't know.
We've all been possessed.
Could we?
We're all dead.
The house is completely full of snow globes.
Where's my fucking document gone?
Siegfried's itching his neck from not getting enough sleep after his crazy dream.
I just imagine, when that Inquisitor appeared in your room, I just imagine, flagellating. Just imagine quickly, like, going, like that, as if she's caught in the act.
Okay.
Your timing is terrible. Timing is...
Yeah. Pagni.
So the next morning, you all awaken. Breakfast is 8 till 10. What time do you guys want to get up?
Getting up at 6.
No rush to get up.
Probably about 8.
Okay.
Imagine after that madness.
And Canny?
Been a bit corrupt this morning, so
I'll wait for Spring to wake, and then I'll get up.
Okay.
Wait for her to get up.
Spring wakes up bang on 6 a.m.
Jesus.
And she literally wakes up and bolts out of bed, and she's like a bit shocked that she was in such close proximity to you, cuddled into you. And she doesn't look afraid or horrified or anything. She looks a bit embarrassed more than anything. And she sort of jumps out of bed, which wakes you, and she just goes, oh, morning, Kenny. Oh, fuck me. And she looks across the room, and you see on the shelf, there's dozens and dozens of these little plaster of Paris things, and they're all stacked on top of each other in a big pile on this shelf, and the shelf's sagging. But you can see on the floor, there's a patch of floor now where there's a dip. Like, it's visibly taken a significant layer of the floor away.
that can't be.
Yeah, have a word with Baz. I reckon there must be at least 50 thrones worth of produce here.
Yeah. I'll go see him. I'll go see him after breakfast. What? You coming to breakfast? Come on, let's go to breakfast.
I'll catch up with you. I'll meet you down there. I just need to get a few things ready.
Rightio. And she goes jogging off, and she still looks a bit embarrassed about the whole snuggled up to you situation. Okay, so Canny, you're staying in your room.
I'm gonna go back to my room. I'm gonna have breakfast in bed.
Yeah, you're going to eat the arm.
Yeah, I'll eat the arm, and then why not?
Excellent. So you eat the arm. It's quite a nice arm. It's defrosted overnight.
Out of character, has Kenny eaten my arm already?
As
I couldn't possibly.
As your GM, I would not comment on anything like that.
Oh, well, that's enough.
I don't do it out of character.
Whatever do you think of it? Yeah.
This guy's can't help himself but laugh. There you go. There's your answer. See your face.
Oh, dear me.
Okay, so you head down to breakfast. The rest of you, Siegfried, you're not quite up yet.
Not yet.
And we'll come round to that fairly sharpish. So, Gaius, at breakfast, it's the usual sort of breakfast affair that you're used to. It's not the shit sloppy gruel you had yesterday. It's a proper fucking traditional Calixian breakfast.
Full Calixian.
Yeah, it's like a generic breakfast that's eaten around the galaxy, but it's hearty and it's good. It's sort of a noble thing, though. Mid-hivers, lower hivers wouldn't.
Square pig.
Yeah,
square pig butty.
Square pig. It's made from an actual square pig.
Yeah.
Genetically engineered pig to fit. Yeah, to fit in a
Have
cage.
you seen that? Space truckers. They've got square pigs in there. Which is,
I think I have. Yeah.
It's old and a bit crap.
Right. So Canny's upstairs. Gaius is down in the dining room. Everyone's there except Pench, Titulos, and Trantier.
Just one thing, just before I went off, I say a few prayers, then go off to do my normal thing. All right, just need to get that in. I'd like to pray.
You were up at 6, sorry. So you've got a couple of hours before breakfast serves. So you can pray for... What do you want to pray for?
I'm going to pray for 1 hour, and then I'm going to whack myself for an hour before I get up in the morning.
Yeah. Okay. So give me your usual test, please.
Okay, so
Weapon
weapon
skill.
skill. Oh, give me a second. Weapon skill. I'm not very good. Oh, I am that time.
Okay. Roll damage.
What is it? D10.
Yeah, a D5 for this because it's like a
four.
whip thing, not a weapon.
I have to. Right, give me a second. Oh, question mark. Not. That's a D5.
Okay.
Plus 4.
Yeah. Then give me a toughness test.
Can I re-roll that with fate point?
Yeah,
No,
sure.
no. I've got 2. So. Oh no, there's not much difference.
Okay. Cool.
A little bit tougher.
All right. So then about 8 a.m. Siegfried will be getting up, so then we've got guys together. Canny, you're staying in your room and eating your arm from 6 onwards.
Well, yeah, I mean, it shouldn't take me too long, but once I finish there, I'll go down for second breakfast.
Yeah, okay. Second breakfast. Yeah, no problem.
Where am I going to put this bone, I wonder?
Wherever you like.
Let's have a look. Can you bring up the
Eat
map?
it.
Eat the bone?
Eat it for the marrow. Just crunch up with loads. You're a big, muscly cannibal. I'm sure you can eat bone.
Which map do you want, Al?
The marrow's a good idea. The map of like the rooms.
Get the marrow.
Yeah, the marrow's a good point, but the bones, there's no good eating on the bones. So.
We're supposed to do it.
Marrow's nice though.
It's supposed to eat it all.
So that's the floor your rooms are on.
I think. Whose room I can stash it in?
I don't know if you can see whose rooms whose at the minute. Just
No, I can't.
yeah, I'm just gonna just give us a sec. You'll be able to see. There you go.
There we go. Right, I'm gonna go over to Otto's room.
All right.
I'm going to try and break in.
Okay. Okay. So, how are you going to try and break in?
I'd like to use my multi-key.
Okay.
Multi-pass?
I think it's tech use.
It should be security, I would think.
Security, sorry. Yeah, so that's agility, I believe. So give me an agility test at a plus 10. Oh, no. Is it a plus 10 for a multi-key or is it a plus 20?
I couldn't say.
Let me just check. Tools. Multi-key.
Multi-pass.
Plus 30 security.
Multi-pass.
Yeah, so you easily pick the lock on Spring's door. Push
Not
the door
Spring's,
open.
Otto's door.
Oh, sorry, Otto's door. Push the door open. Otto is not there.
Good. That's lucky. I'm gonna have a quick look around. Quick search of the room.
Okay. Give me a search test. It would be yeah, it's irrelevant.
3 degrees.
Okay. What would you find in Otto's room? In one of his drawers, you find a stub revolver. In his wardrobe, he has a set of flak armor and a respirator and an auspex, and also the remote servitor link he used in the foundry. Yeah. What else would there be in there? An anti-radiation suit. And I think that's it.
You're going to rob Otto.
Oh, and his backpack. that would
There's,
be
no, there's nothing I want to rob, so no. I'm going to open up one of his drawers, put the arm in there, and then leave up and lock the door by me.
okay. Give me another security test to lock the door.
Oh my
Um,
goodness.
Okay, yeah, you lock the door and off you go.
right, yeah, and I'll go for breakfast.
Go for
I
breakfast.
think this is the beginning of a prank war. It feels like
Right, so you all would then arrive roughly around the same time. I suppose Canny might be there a bit earlier, actually. But anyway, you're all in the dining room. Breakfast to be had. Mesmeron is there. She looks she looks a little less pale. Excuse me. She looks like she might not have any makeup on. She is very pale, but obviously she pales up even more usually. It looks like she might just look her natural skin tone today. And she looks a bit tired. As you all sit down, she says, "Forgive my appearance, Acolytes. I was up most of the night hashing out the details with Lady Pagni. I'm sure you understand."
indeed, my lady. I'm not. Am I not there? So
Yeah, you went. You got up at 8. So yeah.
today I've sort of got my like I've got the cowboy sort of hat on, sort of just down over my face, over my eyes, sort of looking a little bit, and just gingerly sipping some recaf, smoking an IO stick.
Okay.
Although I'm just sort of my hands shaking, sort of there, sort of like the end of it, the ash is sort of long, should be sort of bending over, drooping over a bit. Feeling a little bit rough today. Bit of a strange dream.
Strange
bit of a
dreams.
I don't know. I slept like a baby last night.
Strange dreams, Siegfried. Tell me,
Yeah.
what did you dream of?
Well, a few strange things have happened to me yesterday. I dreamt, I saw things, and I try to make sense of them. Try and make sense of what could be nonsense. I don't know. It's difficult to gather my thoughts on this. Perhaps I could speak to you in private at some point.
She looks around the dinner table for a moment, takes a mouthful of her breakfast and chews it over, and you can see she's mulling this over, thinking about this. I would like you to make a fellowship test, and it will be with a
Plus 15?
time. Mesmeron. Yeah, plus 15.
I
Good
remember.
guess.
No, it wasn't a guess. You said it last time.
Ah,
Yeah, probably not going to happen. 5. What a terrible dice roll.
she says, "Yes, come and find me later."
I will, lady. And
I-
go back to sipping recaf.
Anybody say they had messed up dreams last night? I had messed up dreams last night.
Oh, I slept like a baby. I had a lovely night's sleep. Yeah, best night's sleep I've had in ages.
I'll tell you what.
I'm going to give Spring a little look.
Make a fellowship test, please, Al. Or sorry, a charm test specifically, and you will get a modifier. I think you will get a Spring there, Kenny. Plus 20.
Very good.
Oh no, we'll use a reroll there, I think.
Okay.
Hello?
Spring sort of makes awkward eye contact with you for a moment and just sort of goes, eh? And then looks a bit shocked.
I like my women batshit crazy. So.
Right.
And light fingered.
Yep. They're the best kind. Right. Okay. Anyone else doing anything?
I was just going to say I had a
Oh, yeah,
crazy dream last
yeah,
night.
Mesmeron,
So
as she's about to take a sip of recaf, goes, crazy dreams? Anyone else been having crazy dreams? Everybody
No.
sort of looks awkwardly at one another for a moment around the table. And eventually I'll just sort of settle their gaze on Gaius. And Mesmeron just looks round at you and just goes, go on.
Well, I was reliving my times in the home place in 47 Capilla with all the corruption. And, the time when it got stormed by the Sister Adeptus when I was seen. And then I had a dream about my old Inquisitor coming to see me in my dream. It's very strange.
This Lystug.
Yeah, it's like he was in my dream twice.
When you first came here, I peered into your mind. Do you recall?
Mm-hmm.
I searched for the face of Inquisitor Lystug. I could not find it.
Hmm. Then
But
who?
understand, that doesn't mean I don't believe you. I saw someone speak to you.
Well, unfortunately, knowing how tattered reality really is, I doubt myself sometimes of what I've seen. You don't know if it's something talking to you after you've been trying to get tempted by something foul and unclean on the planet. You don't know what's talking to you. Very, very hard. So you can't always believe everything you hear, can you, Mesmeron?
No. That is certainly a truth I have come to learn, Gaius. There are a great many things in this galaxy that are not quite as they seem.
So, if you were scribing through my head, as you said you would, and you come across these people, you can usually see a
Looking good, Johnny.
face out. Very nice, Johnny. You
Yes,
can usually pick a face out and see that person. So if you were unable to see that person, what would that mean? Would that mean they're witch shielded or
They are shrouded from me.
shrouded? Would they be able to do that themselves, or would it be something else?
Who knows, Gaius? It could be they have the power to do that. It could be something or someone is interfering with your memories, or it could, once again, be someone has been fucking with my head.
Have you been experienced the same in your own manner of strange dreams yourself, Mesmeron?
I don't dream, Gaius. I learnt long ago that it was best to block dreams from a mind such as mine.
I'm able to block out some things, but not all. I'm not as strange as you, Inquisitor Mesmeron. Anyway, this bacon, this square pig putty, it's amazing.
I'm not as strange as you, Inquisitor Mesmeron. I'm gonna have to ask for a fucking charm test for that. Sorry. That's an extreme end of language, I think. It will be with a hell. It'll be with a plus 30. No, sorry. Yeah, sorry, a plus 30.
A charm, yeah. I don't think I have charm. Geist isn't a
Well,
charm.
that surprises me.
It's got 16 for charm, so I'm looking for 36. A second. Oh, I've pressed the wrong one.
46, it's a plus 30.
Oh, yeah. Ah! I've clicked up too many screens. I don't know which one's the right one. Right. Let's do this one, see what happens. I did it. 26.
He sort of she smirks at you, and you see the lopsided grin, and says, "Well, I'm sure that was meant as a compliment, Gaius. Thank you."
I'm not very good at spitting words out.
So, you still have this business to attend to for this King Sanchez fellow, yes?
Yeah.
Yeah, we got our plan all sussed out. Should be in and out. No problem. Day's job.
Could be an excellent opportunity to forge yet another alliance.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
was thinking the same thing, Canny. You're a native of this world. You know how things work.
Yeah, I know the way things work around here. I know my way around town.
You have a certain reputation in certain areas of the hive, do you not?
Only do. Everyone knows me.
I wonder. Mr. Sanchez spoke of how he wished to rise through the criminal underworld and dominate them, conquer them, become the lord of them all, and then claimed to speak of self-betterment and a need to use power for good, did he not?
We're going to need to go a bit like reverse a bit now. They're going to need to do the same thing as Hayden did. And I thought that he was on more about like going fucking legit almost.
Yeah, he
and
was
becoming-
basically saying he wanted to take over the whole of the underworld and then basically make it a less criminal thing and use it for the good of Desolium. He wanted to basically like use all the criminal resources to better the hive, to better the average everyday person in the hive.
All right, okay. Yeah, I don't remember it quite like that. But
Oh, don't you?
But that's probably because I've got a shit memory, Dave. That's not. That's
What
not.
do you-
That's,
I'll just check with you though, Al. What do you recall? What did you think it
I'm
was?
genuinely thinking my memory's awful. So I just seem to think I didn't remember that part that you're on about. So that's why I had to ask for confirmation. The only bit I remember is he kind of just like he seemed disappointed with his position that he would never, they had to basically go legit in a sense to go further up high, further up high.
Yeah, but that ties in with
Mhm.
what I said about his
Yeah.
plan. His plan is he wants to be legit, but he also wants to he's sick of the crime. So his plan is to go legit, but also simultaneously take over the whole underworld and try and make them all legit.
That's good.
Okay.
Honourable.
An honourable
way.
criminal. We can't be having this. I'm going to say to Mesmeron, yeah, that's exactly right, Mistress Mesmeron. I don't remember telling you this, but yeah, you remember it better than I do.
Yes, you didn't tell me, did you, Canny?
Did I not? Oh, sorry. I thought I
Huh?
did. Did I not make them reports? Oh no, I can't write.
Very, very little that goes on in this mansion and with my agents escapes my notice, Canny.
All right.
You can be assured of that.
Oh,
I'm going to look a bit shamefaced for a moment.
Make another fellowship test, charm, with a plus 30.
$100.
Oh dear.
I think the Emperor came and saw me, really. Just disguised as Lystug. That's his pseudonym. It was the Emperor. He's give me real vision. Because he smites down demons in one hit.
She sort
Anyway.
of glares at you a bit, Canny, and then pushes her chair away and stands and goes, if anyone needs me, I'll be in my office. Mortalis,
Yes.
I've spoken with Justicar Drummond.
Mm-hmm.
You are to be assigned to Precinct 686 Delta in Port Gaia, where you met with Drummond. Congratulations, Gaius. You're an Arbite now.
Okay.
I would like you to work with Drummond, learn from him. He's a good man. Follow his lead. Make careful notes and report back to me. Can you do that, Gaius?
Yes, of course.
Excellent. If Gladstock needs any of you, he'll contact you. Can he? I want you to befriend King Sanchez. You think you can do that for me?
Yeah, of course I can, Lady Mesmeron. Of course I can. I'm a very, very personable chap. Everyone likes Canny.
Yeah, you're the man, Kenny. And I'm just gonna say, I'm like still with my head down, like
Oh, I don't think Mesmeron likes me very much anymore.
weekly raise my. You're the man, Kenny. You know what I mean? And then just pull my carb out down a little bit.
When do you want me to start doing this, Mesmeron?
You have a few days to tidy up other affairs.
Yes.
Obviously, dealing with King Sanchez is a priority. And then, well, Gladstock will tell you when you're needed back here, but after a few days, yes, you can go about your assigned duties. Siegfried, working with Lady Pagni. Gaius, working with Justicar Drummond. And Canny, making himself at home in King Sanchez's organization.
Sounds very, very relaxing.
I like this, Lady Mesmeron. I like three-pronged approach to sort of covering all the bases, the important bases, the Hive City. So we've got law enforcement, we've got criminal underworld, we've got high society.
Yeah.
A lot of fingers in pies, you know what I mean, in different pies. So that's like a cementing base here. I'm not going to say this, but I'm just going to just nod my head on the mat and just sip some more recaf. Very good.
There's well. So I'll expect a full report from each of you when I return. And Gladstock suddenly goes, return, my lady. Where to where? Where are you going? She says, why? Scintilla, of course. Scintilla? Antonia, you can't return to Scintilla. They'll arrest you, or worse. And Lady Mesmeron smiles a slightly lopsided smile and says, they can try, Gladstock. They can try. And that's where we'll leave it.
Cool.